there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the BSL19 Pro League. I'm Machine, joining with me today is going to be my co-commentator, Mr. DejaVu. How's it going, man?
Is doing fantastic this morning. I'm really excited for the set of games. I got to see 3 Terrans and a Protoss yesterday, and got to see 3 more Terrans and a Protoss today. So here we go.
Yeah, man, gonna be another epic group here, full of chock full of Terrans, as you're saying. But we got BoA in there in the mix just to kind of switch things up a little bit. But yeah, these are once again just some of the best competitors in the current state of BSL. You got SPX, incredible top tier European Terran. We got BoA from NA. Needs no introduction there. kogeT as well, and Sterling, kind of an old school name coming from the StarCraft 2 community, back in it as well. And yeah, this is going to be a crazy group to kind of get things shaken up here. So, what are your thoughts seeing this group here, DejaVu?
So I didn't realize that Sterling was an older name. He looked completely new to me. I hadn't heard of him even in other tournaments. But at least the other 3 I've seen a little bit more of. BoA shows up on the Artosis cast a good bit, so it's fun to see him here and representing USA. So we have 2 reasons to root for BoA: to keep mirror matchups out and to root for USA. So subtly, I'll be rooting a little bit for the BoA.
Yeah, I gotta say the same. Anytime you're seeing so many Terrans in a group, you want to, at least have the Protoss in there just to kind of change things up. BoA, incredible PvT. He is a hyper aggressive Protoss. Definitely going to be looking to throw, a wrench in SPX's plans here. But SPX, a player who's been around, for quite some time. IRK SPX, very solid Russian Terran. Big macro is really what comes to mind whenever I think of SPX, whereas like BoA is kind of the flip side of that coin. You can kind of expect him to get pretty aggressive early, loves his robo play, incredible Reaver control, not that every other Protoss at this high a level doesn't have it, but exceptional, I'd say. I really think this is going to be an interesting match to kind of get things kicked off.
It's really nice for BoA. He gets to practice one matchup. It's his best matchup, and and that's what he's going to do on every single map. He can come out with tricks for these other guys. They'll be playing 40-minute games, and he'll be trying to end them in 11. So, kind of change the dynamic and the vibe the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I mirror your thoughts exactly here. And as we see, map 1 going to be Dominator. Both of our players are ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into game 1 of SPX versus BoA. And spawning mid-right of Dominator as the red Protoss, we have BoA. Take it away, DejaVu.
Down in the 6 o'clock position, we've got SPX as our blue Terran. So we saw a lot of games on Dominator so far where the whole high ground, low ground main comes into play. And you already mentioned that BoA likes to go for some aggressive early game robo types of plays as well. Do you expect to see that here again?
I do. I think it's good positions for BoA, given the map. I think it's really interesting. You mentioned the high ground, low ground plays here. Let's say that BoA and SPX had swapped positions. There's a nice spot where Terran from the mineral only can kind of siege Protoss's main, kill off tech buildings, kill off production structures. But that option will not be available here to SPX, just given their positioning. So I think BoA's going to be pretty happy knowing that he is, to the right of SPX's main, it's going to open up a lot of that Robo Reaver play because it is a low ground main, because drops are so difficult to defend on this map. I think things are looking a little pretty strong here for our Protoss player early on.
And getting that first scout is nice. It'll give him the option if he wants to go for that early zealot pressure. Again, trying to take advantage of not only the early scout, but again, and delay any sort of command center or any sort of early play there, early expansion from SPX.
Yeah, absolutely. If you always want to get away with that early scout. SPX can't be happy that, he's seeing this probe inside his main this early on. They're just annoying, right? And sometimes they're more than annoying, right? If this is a Boneth probe, he might kill an SCV or two.
With one probe, you're basically occupying the job of 3 SCVs. You're scouting, you're annoying this one building SCV, and you're forcing another one off the line just to be annoying. So it's a pretty nice feeling there when you get that early scout, for BoA at least.
Absolutely. Look at the timing on that core. 236 finishing up on the core here. That's going to be a pretty fast Dragoon. First Zealot out as well. Maybe looking to pressure and prevent a bunker from going down at the natural. We'll have to see.
That'd be very annoying if he needs an early bunker to protect against goons and the Zealot's already there. Very annoying. And a little bit of a probe SCV fight at the natural. SPX looking to drop a building here. Is he going to try and block this? There is not a Nexus yet, so he's good. He's just going to usher it out.
That was a pretty quick bunker. I don't think the Zealot's going to try to run by. He's just going to be happy with scouting it. BoA might be proxying something mid-left here. Oh, man. BoA shenanigans. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I like this just because of the reasons I was saying at the start. BoA can just play a normal game and given their positions, and I think he would have been completely fine. This is a little bit of a risk here. Should SPX somehow scout out mid-left and hold it? I think it sets him up to be in a strong position. Oh, and it's actually DT.
That was very surprising. I thought this was going to be a Robo, and from that distance, if it was a Robo, he could even crawl a Reaver up. He doesn't even need the shuttle to, at a certain extent. But it's going to be DTs. It's going to be DTs instead. Probably 1 gateway, 2 gateways there at the proxy.
Yeah, I think you're right. This, for whatever reason, this build's just becoming really common, or at least it was this last season of Soup. ProLeague, I forget which Protosses it was, but we saw multiple Protosses going proxy DT with the gateway at the opponent's third. So it might just be like a flavor of the month build.
Nice to see him take advantage. You get that. He got the early scout off. He was able to push out the SCV from SPX pretty quickly as well. So SPX is playing in the dark. He's going to have to do something as far as detection for between the shuttle and robo play plus the DTs. He's gonna have to do something as far as an engineering bay, academy, something. Yeah,
absolutely. Little odd that he chose to retreat that way with the Dragoon. Might even be like telling that this is some whoa, that's a lot of Marines. Huh.
That is 8 Marines. That's an uncomfortable number, but it's not exactly certain what he's going to try and do with all of these Marines. Against ranged Dragoons, they don't really do much.
They're at least like soaking up. I mean, there's no way you can jump on the tanks, it feels like, with that many Marines. So probably just buffering a little bit. Either way, that DT timer has started. SPX, I mean, he's going to need something. At least he's got mines. Maybe with some well-placed mines, he might be able to hold versus DTs here, but I don't know. This DT should be out. Yeah, there we go. First DT on the way. Oh, will he see it?
There's one anti-DT mine. But I don't think that's not going to be enough. That's the first. And the second DT to defend is going to completely stop the attack as well. So SPX, he's not even reacting. I don't see an engineering bay. I don't see... Now he knows. Okay, I don't think he saw the spider mine go off.
Yeah, I don't think he did, unfortunately. He's going to try to retreat. I don't know, I guess place mines next to his mineral line? That doesn't sound like a great idea, but it's the only thing he can do to kind of defend this. Oh my.
Oh no.
Unfortunate.
Those mines did less than he was hoping, that's for sure. But that's all he's got.
That's 2 dead tanks. Dragoons are now able to get on top of that bunker. Bunker goes down immediately. I mean, he's at least losing high ground here, if not the game, at this point.
I mean, at this point, the Dragoons can beat the Vultures straight up and keep the high ground as the DTs stroll in. So this is just an impossible position for SPX, unless he can get a mine hit. He needs a big mine connection.
Yeah, this would need to be, I mean, an exceptional mine hit. I feel like DT finally in here. Oh man, yeah, that was very well done here from BoA.
Mines have killed more SCVs than they've killed DTs at this point. Like,
yeah, exactly. We're seeing BoA to double the supply at this point. Still doesn't know about the proxy gate or DT, but he's obviously has to know it's likely there from now. BoA is still very comfortably holding his expansion. There's just nothing. It's one fact production here, DejaVu. I don't know. I don't think he's really going to be able to do too much about this at this point.
This is contemplation time for SPX. That barracks is a couple of pixels from having scouted this, so that's also going to be unfortunate if he can, if he notices, if he knows about that, and gets a chance to watch the replay between games or something. He's going to be a little annoyed by that factoid. But yeah, this is just over. It's just a matter of SPX deciding to call it.
Exactly. Does get the turret up, obviously, but GG is called there. Alrighty, folks. Spawning at the top center, once again, as the red Protoss from USA, it is BoA.
And in the bottom right, we've got SPX, our blue Terran, here on Apocalypse. So similar to last game, where we have low ground mains, and I actually kind of like this map design, where so much of the center of the map is high ground. It kind of forces players out of their base and to really participate in map control much earlier, I think. And it adds a little extra dynamic and value there to those more early builds.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It always just feels nice when you're able to like cleanly mine, I guess, and especially, in a map that you're so familiar with, where you know where all the placement return points are, I guess. So
it's another fun map where we can have a BoA proxy.
Yeah, definitely. I think proxy gateways at the third base are like a little more common on this map occasionally, but I don't know. If I'm BoA, I don't think I'd proxy again game 2 here, but who knows? Could be wrong.
It worked in the first game. If it worked the first time, it's got to work again, right?
Yeah, 100% win rate. It'll just work again. No worries. Well, we're seeing SPX
not
taking
to
his
scout
gas
this time. Yeah, but not from BoA. No gas and no scout either. So this is going to be a pretty early Nexus, it looks like. Yeah, just a 1-gate Nexus. Me?
I think it's a nice call. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is likely 1-gate Nexus. Yep, we're even seeing that probe go out to the natural here. Pretty cool. It's just, completely different style from what we've seen game 1 here. So BoA just trying to be a little less predictable, which I am all for. I think that's a good call.
That's a little interesting. He kind of splits the difference between a gateway expansion and a Nexus first. Interesting. I wonder how that timing works out with some of those compared to the economic output of this straight Nexus first.
Yeah, I think it doesn't obviously have like maybe the same economic output as like a 12 Nexus, but it's a little safer against things like an early bunker timing that you would expect to see versus a 12 Nexus. So yeah, I think it's a decent call here from BoA to kind of start things off. Tech will be not mega delayed with that early of a Nexus as well, so he's still giving himself a lot of options.
First Zealot got across the map very, very quickly, and he's getting a full scout on. He knows exactly what's going on. If there was going to be any sort of early pressure from SPX, but no, he knows. Ooh, second factory from SPX, so he is all right. So this should be a little bit.
Yeah, this should shake things up a bit. SPX can't be happy to see such an early second gateway out of BoA. I mean, 2-gate really is the big counter to like a 2-fact like this, so I'm a little surprised to see that fact go down despite seeing the second gateway. Well, I guess he would have had to have been mining gas before that, but BoA, I really want to say, has the better build so far. And he's not making many probes. Okay. Yeah, he's like really been lowering the probe count, so he's keeping his supply open to build Dragoons. He's prioritizing unit production, so I think he's gonna really have what he needs to hold this.
I think that's one of the nice differences with having that gateway first is he has just 1 or 2 extra zealots, and that takes so much damage and blunts so much of the force as well. So I think he's going to be in good shape, especially if Dragoon range is able to complete before.
Yeah, it's going to be close here. He now knows exactly what's going on. Zealot's trying to get on top of the leading bio here of SPX. Oh no, SCV's kind of body blocking the Marines and the Vulture there a little bit. 2 Vultures didn't quite run in. Oh, he sees the mines. He should just back up, right? You've already held off the 2-fact. No reason to take a risk. I mean, he's got an expansion, right? SPX is the one who has to get something done with these early units. So BoA likely just gonna poke out versus these Vultures and then try to just sit back and hold his natural and not let anything slip by.
Yeah, BoA knows he's got enough military to take care of this, so I think he just techs up right into Robo, plans out his own third base, and if he can, tries to find a way to get a scout in. But that's really the only question for BoA at this point, is when does SPX take a CC? And well, there it is. There's the second command source. I think BoA just macros up here and replenishes those probe count, like you mentioned. He kind of cut that a little bit in order to deflect the 2-fact, but now that he can just go ahead and pump out probes full bore and go into whatever his plan was for the second phase of this game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He'll likely get this first observer out. He knows there's mines on the map. There's no reason to lose any early Dragoons. He had a great hold. SPX, on the flip side, is doing what he can with the Vultures he has. He knows BoA is so good. There's no sense in testing the natural to see if you can run by with these Vultures at this point. There's going to be more than enough Dragoons to hold. So he's blocking the third, putting mines on that high ground, using them to scout, and trying to secure his own natural behind it.
And we see the robotic support bay coming up as well for BoA, so he's going to be teching into Reavers, and depending upon when SPX scouts this out, he's going to need to have some home defense. He's trotting out pretty much his entire army to put on this campaign, but if a shuttle and Reaver comes out, I think we've seen many a game that a shuttle and Reaver in a Terran base can end things quite quickly.
Yeah, especially with SPX dedicating so much to the center, right? It's only a single tank, but looks like he's trying to get an SCV out. I don't know if that's to build a turret or just for the repair, but it looks like BoA has more than enough Dragoons to, I thought, crush this, but it looks like he's going to back up. Oh, 2 more tanks.
I mean, BoA was confident enough that he's throwing up pylons and prepping for his third, so he feels pretty good right now.
Yeah, that pylon will draw some fire here from the early Vultures. There is an observer on this, so BoA's just got full vision. He knows exactly what he's up against. Wow, that's a very cocky missile turret, it feels like. Yeah.
I mean, he kind of needs it for when a shuttle gets in here, which, well, there's the shuttle. He's going to need it because there's only 3 tanks, and the shuttle comes in, and he's going to drop Zealots. Is there a Reaver in here as well? No, just the 2 Zealots, but that should be enough to clean up at least the first 2 tanks. The second tank taking advantage of the high ground, but I think BoA should be able to pick this off and clear this as well. That was a pretty good mischance for that SPX
was yeah, that was some crazy mischance. I feel like those Dragoons missed like 5-6 shots in a row. Still, though,
40%, is that not right?
Yeah,
that was 40%.
Exactly. That's what it felt like, honestly. Ooh, Reaver going down, but at least these Vultures getting in, doing some of the first eco damage of the game here for SPX. So good shots. Ooh, nice Scarab though. Takes out
Great
all
Scarab.
three
That little
Vultures.
pylon there is great. Really stopped the Vultures from actually sneaking around throughout the base. I think they would have gotten another 3, 4, 5 probes if that pylon wasn't there.
At least, yeah. So yeah, but at least you know, BoA's been able to break out now. He has that Reaver tech, even if it is shown. SPX needs to scramble to get some turrets up, and I think he knows he's a little vulnerable at the moment.
He invested so much into that high ground contain, and it did not pay off. So he's stuck here with 3 tanks and a couple of missile turrets. And if BoA knows what SPX is sitting on him, he can march right in here with that shuttle and dragoon combination and clear this out.
Yeah, if he knew it was just these 3 tanks, no mines, I think, or okay, 4 tanks now, he might dive on it. But at the same time, you know, he is up in supply. He's already getting that 3rd Nexus. Nope, he's going for it. Here we go. Oh, no,
Thinking
I
about
thought he was
it.
going to. Yeah, he's... Oh, man. Yeah, that was a little bit of a misfire. Whoa. The tanks were a little too stacked for 2 Reavers there. So big Scarab's going to connect. And it looks like SPX forced to retreat out of his natural. Couple siege tanks rallying in. Might be able to stave this off, but there's nothing to shoot the shuttle at this point.
Yeah, it almost looked like BoA was surprised by how little was here. He almost hesitated and expected to see more, but then wait, is that all you have? Okay, I guess we are going for this. And yeah, 5 Dragoons fighting 6 SCVs. Yeah, this isn't, yeah, I feel bad for SPX, but at the same time, USA, right? Like, I think this is going to be a nice solid 2-0 for BoA here shortly. Yeah,
pretty solid win as expected, I think, here for BoA. I mean, he's just kind of showcasing why PvT is really his best matchup. You're not going to get away with something like a 2-fact versus, you know, someone BoA's caliber, I feel like.
And I definitely don't like seeing this if I'm kogeT or Sterling on the other side, seeing how easily, well, I shouldn't say easily, but how convincingly BoA is taking down SPX here.
Yeah, I mean, think about what he's shown, right? He's shown proxy DT, so now if you're a Terran player, you know, let's say you're kogeT, you have it at the back of your mind that no matter what, you gotta at least be mixing in early turrets versus BoA because of the threat of DT. And other than that, I mean, this game was just a pretty standard opener here. So he's not really giving too much of a hand away, and he's showing the threat that he knows his DT openers. So I don't know. It's a little terrifying for Terran players, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we were looking ahead to the next game. I do think this game is still pretty one-sided, but SPX has stabilized and taken his natural back. He's got 4 tanks and a couple of mines this time, so maybe he holds out and you know, sometimes crazy things happen.
Yeah, crazier things have happened, for sure. I mean, maybe if he gets like a, you know, dropship a little bit. I mean, actually, he doesn't have a start port, but he's going to have to slip Vultures out and around and harass this 3rd of BoA. If he wants to get back into this, he's going to have to deal damage to the eco somehow. But actually, here we go. BoA using this as the opportunity. Nice Reaver drop. Big Scarab going down on a tank. And I think, yeah, BoA is likely looking to finish off SPX here.
Yeah, with the Zealots walking in to clear out the mines, you got the Reaver in the back. You can only do this so many times as SPX. He's down to 3 SCVs at his natural, 2. No tanks, no Vultures, and there's the GG.
Yeah, GG is called there from SPX. Well done to BoA.
Out with the 6 racks, and that becomes his thing.
He might, man. You never know. I haven't seen Starleague play in a long time, to be honest with you. But you know, he was like an old school StarCraft 2 player back in the MLG days. Been around, obviously, you know, been playing StarCraft for quite some time. So with him being kind of a new addition to BSL, I'm pretty excited to see what he has in store here for us, especially TVT versus kogeT.
So Sterling is American as well, so I'm glad we have a second American. But I would just like to note real quick that kogeT and I share a birthday, and I am
nice.
1 year older than kogeT. Yeah. So I just saw that. I was like, wait a second, do we? Yeah. So happy 36 kogeT. I hope your 37th is as great as mine just was.
Yep. Oh, that's great, man. That's wow. Small world. Same birthday.
Now I kind of have to root for kogeT, so here we are.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. I think kogeT, man, when I think kogeT, I think his Wraith control, the times I tune into his stream, is so good. It's so clean, and Wraiths are such an important unit, TVT. I really think that's going to be a little bit of an edge here for kogeT in this matchup, for sure. He has really insane Wraiths. Like, I've seen him open quite a 2-port Wraith versus Zerg on what's the map? Oh my gosh, it's in the map pool right now. No, the island map where there's like 3 separate entrances. Anyways, his
Monty
2-port
Hall?
Wraith,
No.
Monty Hall, yes, exactly. His 2-port Wraith build versus Zerg on Monty Hall looks so annoying. I would rip my hair out if I had to play against it. And it's just because of how good his Wraith control is, honestly. But we are ready, folks. Actually, both these players are ready. So map 1 going to be Dominator here. Let's get into game number 1, kogeT versus Sterling. And spawning top left side of Dominator as the blue Terran from USA, it is Sterling.
And here in the bottom left corner, we have a kogeT as our red Terran here on Dominator. So, yeah, we're going to have a TVT this time instead of a PVT. Last time we saw proxy DTs. Maybe this time we get proxy factories, a proxy starport. I'm all for some entertaining proxy games.
I'm definitely for some entertaining proxy games as well, man. And we also got the bonus of the in-game face cams here. So, once that proxy DT gets scouted, we'll see the shock on everybody's face. Yeah.
Someone just floats a factory into the corner of someone's base where it's not quite scouted out. That would make my day. Like, make that the move.
It could happen. Low ground main. Even like proxying a barracks is, somewhere in the back of the main and just making a few Marines would be pretty annoying. Actually, it is a proxy Rax. It's an 11 barracks in the center of the map. So it looks like Sterling, you called it, definitely looking to get a little aggressive here with some Marines early on.
Why not? Everyone seemed to have some very conservative builds yesterday, so let's go ahead and change it up. Sterling's the new player, so let's go ahead and change the dynamic a little bit and put on a couple early Marines. You never know if someone cuts too many corners. A couple, 2-3 Marines in someone's base when they're not expecting it, and can change the dynamic quite quickly.
Especially on Dominator, too. You mentioned it in the first series, but Dominator, that high ground to low ground ramp is such a big deal. Especially in this matchup, especially in TVP, you have to be able to hold the high ground of your natural or you're just screwed. Like, you could just be contained so easily on this map. So, if kogeT doesn't scout, and he is scouted, gets very lucky with the, early scout here, doesn't see a barracks, so he has to know something's potentially up here. Oh, and it's
he knows it's
Sterling.
forward somewhere.
Yeah,
But Sterling
I guess
actually
it's just
coming
to be
home with
scary.
his first Marine instead of scouting. I thought he would send that first Marine forward just to poke his nose in and see if there was damage to do.
Yeah, same. I guess he's not committing too much to it. He just wants to make sure he's throwing kogeT off. He still doesn't know that kogeT's going for this expansion, so that, he might be, kicking himself that he didn't try to get a little more aggressive with these early Marines versus a command center on the natural. But we'll see.
this is fascinating, the mind games, because kogeT is moving his Marine and SCV towards Sterling's base in case Sterling did not send his Marine home to take advantage of that dynamic.
Yeah, this is wild. I have not seen this. Oh, there is a skirmish going on at the natural here. Looks like Sterling gonna try to take an expansion. Even building a bunker is kogeT at the natural here, but I don't think that this is gonna be able to get up. There should be a vulture almost complete here for Sterling.
And with Sterling's Marine of his own, should be able to buy enough time. If he just shoots the SCV twice, he should be able to stop this, or 3 times. Shoot it, yeah. And then the vulture can more than easily clean everything up. So it was a good attempt. Like we were both kind of curious why the first Marine from Sterling went up back home to his base, and well, that's exactly why. If he didn't, then that bunker goes up and things get complicated.
Exactly. So it ends up being the right call here. Meanwhile, it looks like kogeT going to get a bunker of his own. Already has that natural up and running, so you know, that's kind of the advantage that kogeT was going for at the start of this one. Just wants to have a little bit of an eco lead, wants to hold the high ground of his natural. But obviously we saw a faster second factory here out of Sterling. So we'll have to see how that comes into play.
Yeah, Sterling will have a few more units out on the map until kogeT's eco really kicks in. I'm curious to see what the first upgrade for Sterling will be. I assume it's going to be mines, but we'll see if he does speed, tries to do some sort of vulture run by and tries to get some economic damage while kogeT is still building factories. But yeah, definitely want to see what he gets out of that machine shop.
Yeah, it looks like kogeT going to be getting a machine shop of his own. Should be finishing up here shortly. And second factory not quite done. I like that kogeT is walling this off, right? He's spent the time building that factory add-on and has the later second factory, so he knows the possibility of a vulture run by is there. So he's just kind of dealing with it.
And that's a great scout from this floating barracks. Like when your Marines are all fighting and kogeT's using his barracks to wall in, well, this is just a free scout for Sterling. So I like that he took advantage of the wash of the Marines killing each other off there.
Yeah, absolutely. Third factory here for kogeT.
Need to hide it too.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool place to hide it. I've not seen that before.
First, I actually saw that building go up and thought it was going to be a starport, but instead he's just going to throw down another factory and do a vulture flood, this looks like.
Yeah, it does look like a vulture flood. He's got that add-on. We're still not seeing any mines from kogeT, which is kind of what I was expecting to have already on that high ground. If Sterling's allowed to set up with these tanks, this could be a big problem. Yeah, there's no mines.
kogeT does not want. Yeah, kogeT does not want to give up that ground right outside of his natural. That's going to put everything.
No. Yeah, not at all. And I mean, the tanks are going to range this forever. I'm shocked that there's no mines already out for kogeT here.
Yeah,
Sterling can kind of just sit here forever with these two tanks, especially if he gets siege up. I mean, I don't know what you do if you're kogeT.
I think at this point he just builds up enough vultures that he can just overwhelm Sterling. I think that's the plan, and here he goes. He's going to try to do exactly that. Surround the vulture, or surround the tanks, but go for the vultures. But I think that these two tanks are going to be too much.
Yeah, Sterling has great rally. We're seeing even more vultures coming in here, and only a single tank falling. Whoa. GG is called there from kogeT, and it's going to be Sterling taking game number 1. Not gonna lie, a little unexpected by that. I know how well, you know, kogeT's kind of known for his TVTs, such a strong, like, Polish Terran, but yeah, it's gonna be Sterling taking the first lead of the series here.
I'm pretty surprised by that. That was a pretty narrow window that Sterling actually had. I think just another, 15 seconds or so, and I think kogeT would have been out on the map with all of those vultures, would have had mines set up, and Sterling just found a really good timing before the eco and the tech kicked in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if, kogeT maybe had mines a bit earlier, was able to at least place some mines on that high ground, Sterling wouldn't have been able to just kind of walk up and take control of that high ground area outside the natural. but as is, the timing was off. Sterling did a great job, with that build, producing the 2 earlier tanks. Once again, we talked about the aggressive barracks positioning early on too, and how that came into play. So very well done from Sterling. With that though, it's going to be kogeT's map choice to kind of follow things up. So he'll at least be able to play a map that might more fit a style that he would prefer going into game number 2 here. We'll see. We'll see what it is. Okay. It's going to be Radeon. Huh. What do you think of Radeon for TVT? DejaVu?
I feel like Radeon lends itself to pretty standard back row games, so if this was going to be a longer 25, 30 minutes TVT, more of the classic dropship type of play, I think this would be a good map to see that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Bigger 4-player map, easier to split in half, which is a key characteristic of late game TVT. Drops. They do have like a closer natural spawns on this map, so that can always come into play, whether it's early pressure or drop from natural to natural. And yeah, looks like both of our players are ready to go, folks. Once again, this is kogeT's map choice here. Radeon going to be our map 2 for game number 2. Here we go. Spawning top right side of Radeon, currently up 1-0 in the series. We have Sterling from USA.
And here in the top left, the blue Terran, we have kogeT on Radeon. So I am very curious to see how kogeT responds after that Game 1 loss. I think we certainly had him as the favored player in this TVT. He deals with the 11 racks, but has a great plan. I think he had a really good plan and a strategy of what he wanted to do, and just got caught with his pants down a little bit in that timing window. So I'm curious if he just goes into a standard game again, or if he wants to change things up and maybe try and do something a little more aggressive on his side.
I'm predicting exactly what you said. I think he's actually going to change it up and get aggressive. I think he knows the reason why he lost that last game was he was just a little too passive versus Sterling. If he opens up, gets in Sterling's face, the guy has incredible multitasking. I think it would really be like a comfort zone he could stay in. And you know what? It would pay off as well because of their base positioning here. Not that either player knows where the other spawned, but these are very close natural to natural on this map.
Yeah, that would definitely lend itself to Wraiths flying over real quick, kind of if there aren't Goliaths or turrets in time, Wraiths coming over. Definitely dropship play could follow up as well. You can always do the tank crawl. Anytime you have near positions, you can always tank crawl pretty quickly as well. So I hope he picks one. I hope he definitely picks one of these kind of early aggressive strategies and kind of make Sterling actually play defense this time. Yeah,
I'm kind of right there with you. I hope he does get a little more aggressive this game. We'll see how it works out. Both players, unfortunately, scouting the wrong way here to kind of kick things off. So it's likely going to be a last scout here from both Terrans. Neither player going for an expansion this game, though, so we do see one fact from each. And yeah, there we go. SCVs being pulled off gas here from both players, I think, so likely not going to be something like a 2-port Wraith or anything wild.
I wish. That's the dream, right? That's the dream. But it helps if you get the scout out if you're gonna do something like that. So instead, they're just gonna go with the factory builds and kogeT with no SCVs on gas at this time. So he's just banking those minerals and gonna take his 1-fac expansion. It looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely a telltale sign. If there's no SCVs on gas, he's really trying to gun for those minerals as much as possible. I was talking to. Yeah, not even enough for a machine shop. This is kind of what we were talking about. I was hoping that kogeT was going to get a little more aggressive here. But that's not going to be the case. He really wants to utilize his, earlier, I guess, just more macro heavy here early on. So we'll have to see if he's able to hold any timing Sterling could be thrown at him. But it looks like it's also CC from Sterling as well.
And kogeT gets a slight advantage there. His CC started maybe 10 seconds earlier, so a little advantage there, but nothing too significant. Pretty much just straight mirrored builds from both of these players, and neither of them getting a scout out though, other than the CC does come down. So at this point, I think kogeT wants to poke his nose in and confirm what he thinks is happening as well.
He's got to be very careful with this Vulture, right? There's no way he's going to have a lead whenever you're running close to your opponent's base. And yep, he's forced to engage with that Vulture. There's no way it would be allowed to run home, so it's going to be a trade. But yeah, it's good control there from Sterling, able to take out that Vulture and prevent any delay on the command center.
That would have been very annoying if kogeT had just been able to pick off that SCV one more shot. That would have been that would have definitely paid for itself. Killed 2 Marines, got the scout out, delayed the command center. Been extra fun for kogeT, but nope. Gonna see his timing go up, his command center get up more or less safe for sound for Sterling, and as kogeT adds some more factories. 2 more Vultures coming in though for kogeT, trying to get a little bit more damage here. Gonna go take on the Vulture that's getting repaired by Sterling, and I think this is gonna be a great repair job. But kogeT changing his target onto the SCVs and picks off a couple there, so that was really nice targeting and repair by both of those players to get a little bit out.
Yeah, kogeT just taking advantage of the add-on tank timing of Sterling there. He definitely came out ahead, picking off, 3 SCVs, so that was really well done. But once again, we're seeing literally a mirror of last game. Sterling with the faster add-on, producing siege tanks here early on. 3 fact out of kogeT, and it looks like pure Vulture, pretty much, like just heavy Vulture. He's gonna need to get mines out in order to prevent. It feels like the exact same timing. I think kogeT has an SCV rally across the map.
Yeah, did he just actually rally to Sterling's natural? Because I think this is the 2nd or 3rd SCV that's about to walk to its doom. And yeah. Well, okay, at least this one gets out, but that's a little annoying, a little frustrating for kogeT. Don't see that too often.
It did scout the 2 tanks, so I mean he's got to know it's likely the exact same timing coming out of Sterling here. But this time he's decided to switch things up and has a siege tank of his own.
Sterling going with a 4th factory this time, so he is very much committed, and he's not building SCVs. Well, actually, he's supply block. Never mind. That's why he's not building SCVs.
The dread 52 out of 52, man. Oh boy. kogeT though, does have a slight supply lead here. Does have 2 tanks moving across the map. Oh, there is mines out though for Sterling. I think the mines by themselves stop this timing.
Yeah, it stops it from just being a pleasurable walk across the map. Now you got to deal with the mines and really start making math choices on if you have enough mech to just walk through the field or not. Usually it's not worth your time, but some people get a little more risk-takey than others.
Yeah, for sure. It's exactly like you're saying. It's just a big risk. Like I never feel comfortable moving across the map TBT when I know my opponent's got mines out, especially this early on. There's no scan, right? You really need to do a good job of keeping your Vultures on top of your tanks in order to clear mines without scan or something. And that's just hard to do and risky.
So instead he's just gonna see both players placing minefields, so I think we're just going to kind of have drawn battle lines, a partial contain, I guess, for kogeT, but as we see here, Sterling does have another avenue that his Vultures can take, so kind of just getting both players probably get siege mode at this point and kind of establish thirds at this point. I don't think either one's going to be able to get a killing blow from here.
Yeah, it's kind of shaping up that way. It looks like kogeT's just kind of happy to catch Vultures. There is that additional factory, though, once again, for Sterling. So we'll have to see, that just leads me to believe he could be going for the faster timing. But, never mind. There's a 4th factory for kogeT now as well. It just seems like kogeT's trying to establish early position. He's putting his first couple tanks out on the map, knows he doesn't really need to push in. As long as whenever he gets siege, you know, he ends up roughly here, he's winning the positioning war.
Yeah, boxing Sterling in is always going to be advantageous. Makes taking your own third while pressuring their third at the same time. But I might be wrong. I don't think either player's really even looking for a third. They're just anchoring for a fight at this point. And yeah, Sterling doesn't want to sit in his little corner. He is trying to push out here a little bit. But first couple tanks get picked off. And yeah, not going to be happy with that trade to start with.
Yeah, great trade here to start for kogeT. He's got to get a SCV or two out there. Yeah, the spotting barracks is definitely coming into play. There's no Goliaths on the field yet for either player, so you know, drops could be a potential. Maybe a little bit of Wraith harass as well. But actually, it's going to be Sterling taking the third command center on position here, just south of his main.
A Vulture does scout it out from kogeT. Might be able to pick it off this time. This time he does. So that's to delay that. And I think we did see a starport coming up for Sterling as well. So he's going to transition into, I assume that this is going to be dropship. It's pretty late for a Wraith transition to do much. So I would assume that this is going to be some dropships and give him another way to break out of this contain. He's not really boxed in, but at the same time, he's not comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. He's not comfortable. He doesn't have the vision lead. kogeT's just being surgical with these siege tanks.
And that barracks is just really doing work here. We keep seeing Sterling having to scan over and over again, and kogeT's just hanging out. A little bit of miss micro there, moving his tanks up a little bit and loses another one. But yeah, still have these established lines until waiting for this dropship to pop out.
Yeah, waiting for the dropship to pop out. I don't know if there might not be a timing anymore, just because kogeT likely will be getting some turrets here momentarily. So at least Sterling's been able to establish his third, kogeT at the same time establishing a third. Big tank move and Vulture attack here from kogeT on that third base. Ooh, looks like he's forced to back up though.
Is it just me, or does it just feel like, as far as like the sieging, kogeT is just maybe a little bit cleaner than Sterling at hopping his tanks forward?
Yeah, I think that's likely a lot to do with that vision. We keep pointing out the barracks, and it's such a big deal. You know,
he's risking
in this.
Oh my God,
Oh, he just barely clears it through there. And scan going out just in time. Suddenly, Sterling trying to scramble to get a siege tank in position here. Oh no, tank goes down. And yeah, Sterling, oh, but he does get a drop off at the natural. This is completely undefended here. So Sterling trying to tax the multitasking of kogeT.
You actually mentioned that kogeT had really good multitasking last game, so we'll get to see if that's the case here. I love this position from kogeT on the third. The two tanks across the bridges are really powerful, but the two vultures in each mineral line seems to be really stressing kogeT out right now. He's lost what, a half dozen, eight SCVs give or take at this point.
It feels like it, at least.
Maybe more, yeah.
Forced the SCV pull as well, so a lot of lost mining time there for kogeT. Still does have the supply lead though. But yes, these drops from Sterling have absolutely been successful here.
If he picked up vultures and just dropped at the third, this would be amazing. I'm not sure, or if that's just an escaping dropship. No, okay, it's just escaping.
Big move in here from kogeT though to the natural. He's been killing quite a few siege tanks. Oh, it is a drop. So well done there. That's so annoying. Just a single vulture at the third. Looks like they will get cleaned up though from this Goliath. But yeah, big damage here being done by kogeT.
kogeT kind of sick of the shenanigans, just moves his tanks right into the rally of Sterling. So big fight here. Both, I mean, this dropship is going to drop mines.
Huge mine connect there.
But kogeT does get the position. A ton of damaged tanks, but they're not dead. So if kogeT can reinforce here, he can really start harassing the rally point of Sterling, and Sterling just GG's.
Yeah, GG being called there from Sterling. So wow, tied up series. As we said, I mean, kogeT was able to kind of hang on, but Sterling was throwing some, pretty solid plays back, with the vulture drop harassment. kogeT just seemed a little more on top of the tank movement and utilizing that barracks for vision. I don't know how many tanks he ended up clearing up there, but it was a solid dozen or something like that.
He had to have been plus like 6, plus 8 as far as like the tank trade in the middle fights with that floating barracks. The end result was he had 6 tanks sitting there at the natural. So that is how you slow crawl your way to a slow wins to a victory.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, man. So with that, it's actually going to be tied up here. Sterling does get map choice. Did really well on Dominator. I guess like a less usual TVT style map, not a split map possibility. So I wonder, maybe that'll come into play here. He might choose Apocalypse or something similar, or maybe he'll just go, he'll say, you know what, I think I can win in a larger 4-player map scenario and attempt, a different map as well. So we'll have to see.
It looks like we're gonna go on to my namesake of a map.
DejaVu, is that your favorite map?
It is the best map anyone's ever made, for sure.
It's a great map. I have to agree with you. I do love playing on DejaVu. So, wow, that's too great. It's gonna end up being DejaVu here with DejaVu for game number 3 here. But yeah, this is obviously tied up 1-1. What are your thoughts here going into game number 3?
The fun part for me looking at DejaVu is really the center minerals. I really like it when Terrans go ahead and find a way to take that center base and just kind of take full map control from there. I think it's a really cool play, so that's what I'm rooting for. We'll see if that comes out.
Yeah, I sure hope so. You don't see many games where those middle minerals get utilized, but it's definitely a possibility here in TVT. But anyways, folks, both of our players are ready to go. So without further ado here on DejaVu, we have kogeT versus Sterling game 3. And spawning bottom right side of DejaVu as the blue Terran hailing from Poland, it is kogeT.
And down in the bottom left, we have the American Sterling as the red Terran. So 4-player map, DejaVu. They are going to be at near positions. Last time, they were at near positions but didn't scout it. So even though there could have been some one-base plays, they really didn't get a good opportunity to show that off. But this time, I think if one of them can get that good luck on the scouting rotation, that'll open up that gameplay a little bit more.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. We'll see when they end up getting the earlier scout. We're already seeing some blue on the map, so kogeT trying to maybe go for some type of early scout or possibly a center barracks to get aggressive here early on. Yeah, it looks like it's that proxy 11 that we saw out of Sterling game 1.
Is this in vogue? Is this something that we're seeing on the ladder all of a sudden? The center 11 racks. I like it. Like getting if anyone cuts corners and you get that early marine out, it definitely helps. But yeah, kind of interesting to see both of them choose to do it in different games.
You know what my thoughts are just on DejaVu? When I think DejaVu, I think center map control is so important, right? Because the map kind of cascades down from the center. You have that high ground into low ground outside the natural, outside the third. So, with TVT being so range intensive as far as units, having the high ground is a big deal. Even if kogeT doesn't move into the natural, if he just sits on that high ground with Marines here early on, he's going to force Sterling to feel a little less comfortable. He doesn't want to be contained, but he might not have a choice in it here early on.
Yeah, Sterling actually is going to get the first scout in, so he's going to see that there's no barracks here. He's going to see the factory come down on time, so he knows that it's a forward rack somewhere, so he'll have the timing out if there is going to be a Marine on the way or anything. So I think this will probably both both players will probably deflect straight into one fact builds, and we'll see who decides to get an expansion or take a second factory or diverge a little bit here.
Who do you think will likely go for the earlier expansion out of these two?
So kogeT's been doing the earlier expansion both games, so I want to say kogeT will probably do that again. It seems like he's pretty comfortable with that build, and Sterling seems to want to throw down more factories earlier when he can.
You literally called it. We're seeing a second factory now out of Sterling in the main, and we see the blue command center pop up on the mini-map for kogeT. So yeah, you've read this perfectly. It's going to be a game of, can kogeT hold the expansion? We'll see.
Yeah, and Sterling does it where he still takes his expansion, so it's not like the two-fact where you have to get tons and tons of damage. He can use it just for map control, delay SCVs, be annoying, and then go ahead and expand into a standard 2 base game as well.
You're right. And that might be the call, right? We were just talking about how important the high ground in the center is here. Even, Sterling, even if he doesn't try to pressure the natural, if he could just sit outside kogeT's nat on that high ground, what can kogeT do?
He's got to wait for siege mode, right? And yeah, you force out siege mode or you force out dropship. That's all takes time. That's all a lot of tech and investment, and that's just more advantages to Sterling.
He sees no command center. He's going to see tank, and he's going to see 2 add-ons. This is 100% a very aggressive opener here out of Sterling. But despite kogeT scouting it, it might not matter. He might not be able to hold this.
Yeah, when that gets to 3 tanks, that bunker is not going to last very long at all once the next 2 tanks show up. So kogeT's got a small window here to figure out how he wants to play this defense, but yeah, it's not a big one.
Yeah, definitely not. We're seeing a run by out of kogeT. He at least gets 1 vulture by. Tank cleans the second one up. So he's just going to confirm 2 spinning add-ons and not kill an SCV here. So wow, Sterling suddenly in a dominant position this game.
I think I mentioned it yesterday, but it's just amazing how slow vultures are. It is just a massive difference in effectiveness.
Yeah,
it took forever to crawl up that ramp.
It really did, man. I mean, that was definitely not a run by. It was, more like a just kind of hobble by and get shot.
Now we get the 2 tanks hammering the bunker. It's not going to last, and the Marines will pop out of it, but that's not going to last either. So kogeT decided to cop out here with 2 Goliaths along with this tank and push this out. And a 3rd tank from Sterling, though, is going to be a lot, I think. And kogeT
mines
hanging on by a thread. Mines for Sterling, and this is rough looking for kogeT.
Yeah, only 1 Marine in the bunker, so it's not like a lot of DPS is really being dished out here. Sterling doing a great job keeping the tanks back, forcing the engagement over mines, and this could be it. Wow.
3 tanks is so strong. Like, even just the health on them, the amount of shots it takes from a Goliath, and even with the mischance this time, it's not going to matter. So Sterling gets control of kogeT's natural. And where do we go from here? Is there a response from kogeT at this point? The supplies are still even-ish.
Yeah, they are pretty even here, but man, it doesn't matter. It's kogeT's all SCVs, it feels like. There's 3 tanks outside the low ground natural. It's going to take kogeT, 5 minutes to break this ramp. And at the same time, Sterling going to be holding his own natural. Things are really not looking good here for kogeT.
I love this floating factory. If kogeT gets like 1 vulture out and just starts picking up random SCVs and things, that'd just be hilarious.
It's his best shot here. I like that he's doing it. I wonder if he's... but Sterling is all over it. He's going to scout the factory. That's crazy. Yeah. Suddenly, kogeT just in such a dominant position. We're seeing siege mode complete here for Sterling, so yeah, kogeT is between a rock and a hard place at this point.
And now it's just time for Sterling to kind of just close up all the outs for kogeT. There aren't a lot, but just close up those last little bits and move on to the winners match, presumably. I don't want to call it early, but I feel like this is pretty dominant.
I mean, it is a tough spot. There's no question that in order for kogeT to win this, like he's got to get a miraculous trade here or something. You know, Sterling definitely cut some SCVs to get here, but here we go. kogeT going to try to tank with some of these SCVs. Does get a good shot though on top of one of the siege tanks, but one tank does fall here. 2 tanks now falling. It's just one low tank. Maybe he can do it.
Yeah, he might be able to clear this, but with all the mines, with the new factories for Sterling, I'm sure that are coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, still a tough position. 3 factories with 3 add-ons now for Sterling. Yeah, kogeT doesn't even have his natural. He's doing a big SCV pull here.
It's so few SCVs. His
no,
SCV
why?
pull to the natural. Oh no. Well, okay. Well, how do you clear those mines if you only have vultures?
You gotta sacrifice the siege tank to it. That's the only way to do it, I think. So.
This is just painful to watch now.
Yeah, this is getting a little tough here for kogeT. kogeT is forced to GG. Sterling does end up taking the series 2-1 in a pretty close series there. But man, that 2-fact opening was exactly what he needed, it looked like. Yeah,
he got a great position. The 2 tanks, 3, and then the 3rd tank hammering away at that bunker. Like there's just no defense for kogeT at this point. So I think that means that we get an all USA winners match, which means at least one American is advancing to the round of 16.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be BoA versus Sterling here in a USA versus USA match. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what Sterling has in store for TVP now. Given such a good TVT versus kogeT. So yeah, that's going to be it should be exciting. Let's go for a quick break here, folks. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back with our winners finals here shortly, though, on Radeon. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
Butter butter is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts to move as soon as Pata Pata starts to play. Butter butter is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts to move as soon as Pata Pata starts to play. Butter butter is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BSL. I'm Machine. Joining me once again is obviously DejaVu. We are ready here in Group E for BoA versus Sterling. This is going to be Group E winner finals. What are you thinking here, DejaVu?
Well, I'm excited to see Sterling advance. He was kind of an unknown, so seeing what he had for TVT, Zero actually let us know that this was his favorite matchup that he was looking forward to. So he got a good group, so lucky for him. But he is going to have to play a TVP this time, and so I'm very curious to see what he has in store.
Alrighty. Spawning here, bottom right side of Radion. New here to the BSL as the Red Terran, it is Sterling.
And over on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have our Protoss in blue. It is BoA in this USA versus USA matchup. So my opening thoughts, I like, again, that they're near position. It opens things up for a little bit more aggression. We've seen Sterling, I think every game, didn't he go with some sort of 2-fac opening against kogeT? So yeah, if he wants to do some more 2-facs and show us what the 2024 2-fac builds is versus Protoss, let's go.
Yeah, could happen. At the same time, though, we saw Series 1 of with BoA. BoA did stuff at 2-fact pretty hard from SPX, so that 2-fact might not be the call. We'll have to wait and see. Anyone who's listened to my cast knows I'm a big hater of the 2-fact. I hardly ever see it used, in the highest level of play. I get that it's got like a place, but man, the top level Protosses are just so good at stuffing like early 2-facts. It almost doesn't feel like a build a lot of the time.
So to flip it around then, if 2-fac isn't a great idea to put on early aggression, what are Sterling's more modern options as far as putting on more aggressive play early? Because it does seem like that's his style.
Everyone who has watched BSL knows the name Mihu. Mihu's early aggressive TVP like 5-fact openers, like you have to get an expansion. You just have to, I think, as Terran. But if you 5-fact and you just get really good at opening 5-fact, it is such a threatening opener that you can know it's coming and still have such a difficult time holding it. So that would be my recommendation here for Sterling. I'd love to see a 5-fact, but I don't really know his TVP style. Been a while since I feel like I've seen Sterling play, but so we'll have to kind of see what he's got in store for us here.
Well, he took SCVs off of gas, took a couple, so it looks like he's going to go for that 1-fact expansion to start with. BoA actually did get his gateway, did get his assimilator, and is going for a Nexus fairly early as well. So pretty standard openings from both of them. I think we're going to get to at least 2 base play from both. So yeah, I guess we're going to skip the early aggression that I'm always hoping for.
Yeah. I think 2-fact is, great TVT, but man, Protoss players are very good at stuffing it, even close positions like this. So I think this is a good call here from Sterling. Nexus, that was a really fast 19 Nexus here out of BoA. Kind of taking, a play out of his playbook from Game 2 versus SPX here. Ooh, good SCV scout timing, though, from Sterling. We'll see this Nexus timing. We'll know exactly what he's up against here. It's not going to be that proxy DT play here, Game 1, like we saw from BoA in the previous series.
Yeah, especially when you see the core spinning as well, and you know that's range. I don't expect BoA to be that that much of shenanigans to fake that hard. So, so Sterling will be very comfortable. He knows exactly what's coming. It's fairly standard play from BoA. So, moving forward, where do we see BoA moving into? You mentioned that he's got pretty good shuttle Reaver play, so that makes a lot of sense from these start positions. Would definitely be to move up into that Reaver tech.
For sure. I mean, Radeon, close natural position, like the travel time for even a slow early shuttle is like nothing. So BoA opening up with Robo, I think, is just kind of par for the course here. I do expect to see Observer. I do expect to see Reaver. And, from there, I think there's some question marks, right? Like BoA might go for 2 base timings, which he's been known to do. But he, likely just given the scouting positions, he could just take a 3rd as well. So we'll have to see, what he opts for here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Sterling has done a lot of scouting on BoA. I'm curious if BoA has much of a read or a plan for Sterling, considering he is fairly new. I couldn't even find a Liquipedia page or much on him, so I would assume that BoA is kind of still going to have to feel out Sterling, see how aggressive he is, see what kind of builds he likes and what he wants to play with. So BoA looking for fairly conservative play with the Robo opener, getting observers and things makes a lot of sense as he kind of feels his way into this game and series.
Yeah, I love your analysis. It's true. I mean, likely BoA doesn't know much about Sterling, and we are seeing a very just middle of the road standard opener here out of BoA. He seems happy to just put Sterling to the test, get a quick observer, cut off any opportunities for run bys, take a quick 3rd base, and force Sterling to macro here, just straight up.
Yeah, BoA doesn't even look concerned about a push coming from Sterling, which is a little concerning because I don't even think I saw a robotic support base, so I'm not sure if BoA's going to have Reavers here anytime soon. So luckily, there wasn't a push out from like a 5 or 6 fact like you were talking about from Sterling. So luckily for BoA in that sense, but he definitely cut a big corner there to take his quick 3rd.
For sure. This is a delayed support bay. It's not the the worst. You know, like he will eventually obviously get Reaver. Reavers are great at being able to at least stall big factory timings from Terran. So BoA likely going to be putting that on display here shortly. Still though, Sterling with a great read, you know, didn't build turrets too early, knows that this isn't like a hyper fast Reaver drop play. And actually we're seeing some weird movement on the map here from Sterling. I wonder what he's got planned here.
Yeah, he seems... Neither player has actually seen the other's army or composition at all, so neither of them has any idea, really, about what they're going against, what the Reaver timings are, what the tank count is. So both of them are just having to play very, very blind and very, very safe.
2 more gateways underway here from BoA. Likely, you know, that eco is starting to kick in, but we're still seeing like aggression. I don't know if this is true. Yeah, he wants to go. Whoa. Sterling just dumping on top of some of these Dragoons here. No Reaver in play. There we go. Shuttle does
I don't think there's
start
a Reaver.
moving in. Oh, there is no Reaver. It was a fake. Wow.
That delayed robotic support bay is delaying that Reaver, so it's just goons to fight. I was hoping that there'd maybe be a Zealot or 2 in there, but yeah, not even bombs to play with those binds or anything. So the tanks take the day, but these are naked tanks, which are very, very vulnerable until reinforcements get in.
Yeah, if I'm Sterling, I'm happy with that, and I'm backing up. I think this might be an overstay here. But no, he's going to siege up, and he's going for it. Wow. Big mine drag. Takes out one of the tanks. Second tank will fall here. I think it was a little bit of an overstay. If he kept those 3 tanks alive and backed up and just took a third or whatever, I think it would have been in his favor. But now I want to say BoA taking a lead.
Yeah, even if you had just waited that 10 seconds for those extra 2 vultures to come in, 2 more vultures, 6 more mines is going to make a big difference in that fight. So a little bit too quick, a little too greedy there from Sterling. Just needed to wait a little bit and choose his options. But that's going to put BoA into a big lead. We have a 30 supply lead, 3 bases to 2. He's been probing up pretty good. Reaver finally out. He was able to deflect that push out without a Reaver.
Yeah, he really was. That was, I mean, a key factor in this. It is 5 factory, which I was kind of calling for from Sterling, but it's 5 factory that's been reset at this point. There's no tanks, no turrets on the high ground. There might even be a window here for BoA, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we see turrets going up, but are there enough in the main? There's 1 turret, but there's nothing to really defend the turret. You can just drop the Reaver and shoot who's to the end. That's going to be a dud. I think, yeah, that's going to be a dud, but he should get something here, I think.
Oh, another dud. Oh, okay, at least targeting the turret and a Goliath at least. 1 Goliath at pretty low HP and a... Ooh, okay, does pick up a Goliath, so it's not like BoA's not getting a return for this.
Nope.
Ooh, yeah, I don't think he's getting out with this Reaver, though. So this will be a committal.
Big Scarab, yeah, that's a big Scarab. I think the first Scarab got like maybe 3 or 4. The second one got another 3 or 4. So those were a couple big hits to Sterling's economy that he really can't afford. Down so much supply, down so much map control. Yeah, things just getting a little worse for Sterling.
Yeah, he's lost quite a bit of mining time. You pointed out the hit to the econ with so many dropped SCVs and the reset 5 factory timing, as well as BoA had full, has full scouting here. There is an observer sitting over the production. He knows it's a 5 fact timing. He knows it's coming, right? So BoA now has all the time in the world to just build up to defeat an upcoming timing. So he's got to be feeling pretty good here at the start.
Yeah, BoA can make this just a nightmarish crawl out for Sterling. He's going to have so many units if he wants to. Sterling has no map control. Mines are being placed defensively, so he doesn't even know where BoA is. BoA can just march across the map and set up a contain and just kind of wait for his moment for when Sterling finally moves out of his natural.
Yeah, he seems pretty committed here. There's no opportunity really for Sterling to get a vulture run by. We're even seeing BoA take a 4th base, which just says to me he's completely comfortable with the game state. He he doesn't feel like, oh, okay, there's a third command center in the main. That makes sense. So this isn't Sterling moving out. He wants to just stall the game out, which is, I think, probably the right call. You know, even if you're behind as Terran, if you can just find a way to manage to sit back, get your double armory, hold 3-4 bases, and, you know, get to late game TVP, you can bring, you can win a lost game. Oh, but
you
BoA,
never know when the tank count gets big enough, but BoA doesn't like this, so he's coming in for an attack. He's actually moving into this with 2 shuttles dropping Zealots, and I think there should be a Reaver in here, maybe?
I think Reaver's died.
The Zealots on top of the tanks might be enough. Most of the goons go splat. Zealots actually go splat as well, so Sterling holds rather cleanly as well. 5 tanks left over, the entire army for BoA gone, so Sterling's got a window here where he can go ahead and get out on the map, take his third, and wow, I'm surprised Sterling won that so cleanly.
I'm shocked. I really thought BoA had it, but no, it ended up being such a clean hold here from Sterling. If that happens again, you know, Sterling takes a clear lead. And actually, we're seeing Sterling now only off 6 supply in supply totals. You know, that being said, it's not like BoA's, you know, really struggling. He's got a 4th base up. It's mining fully. There's plenty of gateways. But, I mean, anytime Protoss is resetting their entire army, it doesn't feel great. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was just kind of replaying that fight again. I think that was just really great targeting from Sterling. I think he got all of his tanks to shoot at Dragoons and just melted those. And by the time the Zealots got up there just wasn't enough damage left over to actually cleanly kill anything.
Yep, tanks were targeting Dragoons. Vultures were back, hold position on, you know, the siege tanks to clear Zealots, and the Reaver shuttle got sniped instantly from the Goliaths. So it was just very good targeting there from Sterling. BoA's still looking to apply some pressure here. We're seeing some Vultures get picked off as they're trying to slip by. Another shuttle loading up here for BoA as well, and wow, look at so many gateways inside the main here of BoA. He's really allowing that production to ramp up.
Even though that was a great fight from Sterling and it brings them back into it, it just makes it more or less a more even map state. It's still not a big advantage to Sterling or anything there. It's just more or less even. And we see a little Vulture drop coming in here. He'll be annoying with that, but the cannons already in place should be able to deal with this fairly easily.
Yeah, that cannon timing was crazy good from BoA.
There's
I feel
a random
like that,
DT. What is the DT for?
I mean, I feel threatened. You know, it's a Dark Templar. Like I definitely don't rest easier knowing there's a DT on the map as Terran. So if I had to guess, it's probably to delay a 4th or something. He wants to make sure that no matter what, yeah, Sterling does not get a 4th base at this game state. But we'll have to wait and see. Top left also being taken now from BoA. He's got good control of basically the entire left side of the map. I would love to see carrier at this point from BoA, or at least start getting the tech buildings you need and the upgrades to transition to that late game carrier. Oh, double robo. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to go carrier just with the double. Well, maybe still go carrier late, but the double robo makes it look like very much a gateway man and a lot of Templars here. So he didn't get his. He did not get to his Reavers to drop, so he didn't get the chance to see his Reavers. So this time instead, we're going to be looking for Stormer and High Templar to actually drop out of the shuttles and land those spells, get that AOE damage.
Good trade there from Sterling, picking off a handful of Zealots for free, basically. We'll actually scout the unit movement as well here of BoA. Snaps another Zealot out of existence.
DTs are just part of the army. They're not even... They're just in there with the Zealots.
Just to force scans or something, I guess. That is kind of crazy, yeah.
It's the squad leader.
Yeah. Oh, man. Vulture's kind of getting caught in the center a little bit, it looks like. Oh, nope. Those were mines. And
A lot of mines from Sterling to make sure that there aren't any more expansions. I am curious to see when he chooses to move out onto the map and where he goes, because he's about to max out, so now it's time for him to either make a move towards the top left, I would guess, or try to secure the top right for himself.
If he goes to the natural, he also just shuts off all production, right? Like if he can trap
The natural
BoA.
push, yeah.
So I think that could be an opportunity as well, but he might push top left as well. Still, this is...
BoA tried to take the Nexus in the top right. That is so disrespectful, BoA. That can't go
good,
up, right?
It'll go up. I'm telling you, it's actually a really good move. Like he's trying to pull Sterling apart as much as possible by forcing him to move units top to the furthest expansions, basically. Oh no! Are these shuttles gonna get caught?
If there were 5 Goliaths, yeah, if there were a handful of Goliaths right here, oh.
These Dragoons are out of position top right. Oh my, look at the splash damage. Those Zealots are all basically dead.
Those are half lots. Yeah, those are half lots. But the DT's got a kill. And 2 kills. 3 kills. Kill DT.
I think Sterling's ahead. I think Sterling is, because so many of those Zealots just died. If Sterling pushes now, he'll run BoA over.
He's got to pick a path, either go to the natural, go to the top. He's got to pick a direction and go.
He's just waiting on one more rally. Here we go. He's gonna go.
Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? And those 4 shuttles are gonna get reloaded, so hopefully we'll see a proper fight from BoA. That was pretty hectic.
Yeah, I don't think he even used the shuttles. That's why it went so poorly. He was not prepared for that. And here we go. 4 shuttles, massive siege. Big Templar drop, though. That is huge. So many storms raining down. But great spreading at the exact same time from Sterling. And all of BoA's supply is now locked up in shuttles. He's gonna...
storms.
Yeah.
BoA's army just melted. Like I think that was, again, Sterling just targeting with his tanks is really good. I wonder what his FP VOD looks like, because that tank targeting was really strong again.
It really was, and good spreading, you know, from Sterling as well, mitigating as much of that splash as possible. And yeah, as we said, he's just going to shut the production off of BoA here. Almost all the gateways are inside the main. That means nothing is ever leaving this base now. It'll give Sterling just free reign around the map. But yeah, BoA has a plan B in its carriers, and it's a good plan B to have.
I think BoA should just delay action here at the bottom left, his actual main, just to keep the tech buildings alive, but rebuild gateways in the top left, rebuild gateways in the top right, and just waste Sterling's time until carriers come.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good call. Ooh, big mine connection is going to blow up this force, though, of Sterling. So very nice pickup there from BoA. You know, making it happen with what he's got. He's
going carriers, but he still has a lot of stuff, it feels like. I feel like he has too much stuff for also going carriers.
I think he lost a lot of stuff. So maybe it's going to give him the supply that he needs now. But you're not wrong. Like, he had a lot of probes, but he lost so many probes at the natural. Main's completely mined out now. Somehow BoA hangs on to his 3rd base. I can't believe that didn't die. And yeah, as we know, carriers are underway. Yeah, I had to jinx it. It's that caster curse, you know.
But really, BoA can just think of the top left as his main and just restructure his mentality. Oh my god, great storms on this 4th base from... And this is gonna be... that is a ton of SCVs, holy moly. 20 SCVs more?
Yeah, that's just painful. Great trades from BoA, given, you know, he doesn't have much to work with. But yeah, Sterling still, though, killing off the main of BoA. There's something to be said for killing off all of the tech, you know, right? Like, yes, obviously we know BoA has carriers. He has top left. He has top right. But Sterling still has, I mean, a very strong force to deal
And
with.
Sterling figured it out. We see all of these Goliaths out. Sterling at some point scanned. He knows that there's carriers out, so this is going to be a transition into a pretty classic carrier versus Goliath. How do you feel about this map for the carrier versus Goliath fight?
There's plenty of neutral high ground, which basically is a recipe for good like carrier usage. So if BoA, I think, gets a couple, 2, 3, 4 more carriers here, he might be able to hold, but that's not what you want. Just walking a carrier in, almost one carrier basically almost goes down for free from BoA here. He hasn't built up the interceptors as well. Man, I think Sterling has just been relentless. He's just not allowing BoA to get the critical mass he needs of carriers here.
There's a lot of Goliaths. I wonder if that's enough to actually hold off all these carriers, though. Sterling is trying to get up, but the carriers for BoA being unleashed, taking down Goliaths one by one, and there's still probably a good 15 Goliaths or so. Like, BoA still hasn't been able to clear this whole force out.
Yeah, the EMP as well, a dead center on all the carriers. All of the shields have been shaved off. BoA's main is still dying with all the tech. Ooh, big storm though. Very nice storm there, but one carrier does fall, I think, if not two. Siege tanks are a little far back, but they're still managing to pick off Dragoons. And yeah, Sterling's just able to start taking the map, right? He's easily held 6 o'clock. He should be taking a couple more bases, but he's mostly focused on just staying on top of this carrier numbers. Another carrier falls.
I mean, it's down to 2 carriers, so we saw BoA go from, 6 to 8 carriers down to 2. I don't think they even have interceptors. The saving grace for BoA is he still has mining going on. If he can somehow thin out the Goliath count, if he can somehow get interceptors, he still has money coming in, but this ramp is just going to be too much to hold as these Goliaths start streaming up. New carriers popping up, but they have no interceptor, so there's effectively no units out. There's carriers, but each of them only has 1 interceptor.
Whoa. Man, Sterling is just playing phenomenally. He's doing so well here. Main is dead. He's catching solo Dragoons and Templars with just pure Goliath at this point. Oh no! BoA's storming all of his
own ops.
Yeah, you never want to see that. Man,
I think Sterling's done it.
I think so too. We're seeing over 100 supply lead now. I mean, Sterling's just got all the time in the world to just kind of mop this up.
Start to this game, and then just that one attempted bust that didn't go well, and it just kind of frogged from there.
Yeah, that was a pretty big blunder, to be fair. I mean, he really pounced on that with, I think it was like at least 2 shuttles worth of units. Reavers didn't unload. Plenty of splash damage on the Dragoons of BoA. BoA just trying to get a little bit of harass done here with these 3 carriers. Try to stop some mining. He's completely reliant on his top right base at this point. And Sterling just rallying units casually across the map.
I like the BoA's showing us how annoying a few carriers can be. But 3 is just not that many. It's just not enough. So, I mean, BoA's trying to rebuild here in the top right. Does Sterling not know about top right? Is he he knows? Yeah, he knows for sure.
Yeah, he knows about it. He's just kind of taking his time at consolidating his units. There's just no way, right? Like, he's got too many tanks here.
He can cannons and do a PV computer staff at this point.
Yeah, he's just got to get somewhat in range of Siege, I think, and should have this one. Ooh, big D Matrix going down.
Shouldn't take more than a couple volleys from these tanks to effectively end the game. As these couple cannons in the front go down, he can just move his army right up the ramp and take it. A new base for Sterling coming up, so even if this base at the 6 o'clock position does go down, Sterling's still going to be fine to replenish, and these carriers just being walked in to die. So I think that should be that.
Yeah, carriers going down here. BoA trying one last attempt to try to get on top of this siege tank line of Sterling. Sterling just, I don't know, man. He played very solid this game. even from a deficit, I would say, early on.
Mechanics are really good. His targeting, his control of the vultures to stop his stop the zealot surrounds, like really strong.
With this, both of our players are ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1, or game number 2 rather, Sterling versus BoA on Dominator. And spawning mid-right, currently down 0-1, looking to make a comeback. It's his map, Mr. BoA.
And down at the bottom of the map, we have our blue Terran. We have Sterling, who is really surprising and kind of putting on a show for everyone in his first few games here. So I'm excited to see what he has in store here on Dominator. It's been one of the more exciting maps so far. We've had proxy DTs, forward robos. We've had all sorts of fun things on this map. So I'm excited to see what they come out with now.
For sure. I mean, you said it. Game 1 versus SPX, same map, same positions. We saw BoA go with the proxy DTs, so I don't know.
He's doing a 999? What is he doing?
Yeah, this is weird. It's a very early scout. It almost makes me think he's doing like... Oh, never mind. I was going to say Nexus, but I would have been wrong.
He's going for that game. We haven't seen anyone do a Nexus first so far from BoA today, or I was watching Dark yesterday. He sneaks in and he does see the barracks and gets the scout off. Do you think he was trying to do something sneaky there if he was able to?
Absolutely, he wanted to gas steal. Gas stealing on this map is such a pain. He was so close too, but Sterling just barely took his own Vespian Geyser in time. I think that was a good call.
Just being very harassive with his probe as usual.
Yeah. You got to be happy that you scout your opponent first, but this is a big committal from BoA, right? This was before one of the first 9 probes. So you're sacrificing mining time. You need to get something out of it. So he's got to feel a little upset that he didn't get away with that gas steal.
So he's going to have to transition into just his regular build then. Yeah, I did like that the pylon scout. That's pretty rare, I gotta say. When you do a pylon scout, you almost always get the gas steal. So good timing from Sterling. Good reaction.
We are seeing the first factory going down inside the main now for Sterling. SCV's pulled off gas. Nothing out of the ordinary. BoA is moving across the map with first Zealot. Likely going to try to apply some pressure, scout, maybe get an SCV or two for his trade. And Dragoon being produced behind this.
With the core up now, I'm curious to see what his tech of choice is, or if he chooses to just save up for that Nexus. He's been doing a lot of Nexus plays, but he might choose to actually do early tech instead.
Yeah, he could. We did see that game 1. I'd like to see shuttle. For all the same reasons I started off with the SPX, like that, just their positions right. I feel like Sterling's main is very vulnerable in these positions. BoA's good at it. I really think it's the right call to just kind of open Robo Reaver here in game number 2.
This initial Zealot does its job, kind of pushes the Marines back. It'll hang out until the Vulture pops out, but then won't be much doing once the Vulture comes out. He'll get ushered away, probably chased down. Sterling at this point probably wants to get a scout in and figure out what BoA's doing if he can. If this is a robo play or if this is DTs, you never know. You don't have to proxy your DTs. You can build that Citadel in your base too.
He does have that SCV at the natural, so at least scouted no Nexus. But wow, big trade here. Actually, I want to say Sterling got the better of that. I mean, that is a dead Zealot, a very close to dead Dragoon with a full health Vulture chasing it. Oh man, he could have killed it there. Just stuttered just a little too long. Okay. Wow, great pickup. Yeah, if he repairs that
he's
Vulture,
doing this
that's
game
big.
versus BoA. Yeah. Either no expansion yet from Sterling though. It seems like he's saved up for it, just waiting to see it actually go down. Yeah. Okay. Here comes the SCV, and is it going down? Command center. Yep, there it is. Okay.
So no, nothing out of the ordinary. I like this here from Sterling. He realizes he's a little ahead. Oh man, this feels like late. This feels like a desperation call from BoA. I don't understand why he would go DT unless he was going to do it before range or before, I guess anything else. But no, it's going to be a DT play here again from BoA on Dominator.
I don't love it, this delayed. I think Sterling's been pretty on his timing so far, so we see mines out already in front, so those are kind of anti-DT mines as well, so I don't see a ton of...
Yeah, not going to be a lot of opportunity, it feels like, for BoA to really get these DTs in play. I mean, maybe if he walks a few of them and clears the mines heading to the main, he could do something, but likely this is just going to get scouted out here by Sterling.
Mines are great. Sterling's got pretty solid placement with them, and he is going for the robo, so there is an opportunity here for a DT drop. I don't know what Sterling has in his main as far as detection and mine goes. Looks like nothing but an academy almost done.
I think that Academy is just on time, just barely on time, but he's going to be able to hold DT play once it, especially if the DT swipes the forward vultures or something. But yeah, I mean, it's the 6:30 mark. There's still no DTs on the map. Oh, it's a DT drop. That's why it's delayed.
Yeah, there's a robo coming up, so it'll be dropped in there. That's why I'm curious to see if there's enough of an opening in the main. But I think once comsats come up, if he gets his comsats up, he should be fine. He's still building SCVs for now, but yeah, here come the comsats, so he should be fine against any DT drop now.
I was just gonna say he's gonna need a Goliath, and if he hasn't built an eBay, he's gonna wish he'd built one, at least at this point, because there is some tricky, openings you can do with these early DT drops that, despite having comsats, still make it such a pain here for Terrans. So we'll see. Two DTs are loaded.
The DTs. He scoops them up, and he's going to start floating over. He also is building a Stargate, presumably for Arbiter behind this as well. So he's already planned out his transition. As this shuttle looking to come in, Barracks is going to scout it out, and there are 2 Goliaths. So I'm a little worried here for the shuttle itself. The 2 Goliaths are going to try and pick it off. The DTs are going to get dropped off, but a good scan, and at least one DT will fall. 1 DT left, and I think the secondary scan should finish it if he's got one.
Oh, he might have thought it went to the natural or something. But yeah, still, I think if you're Sterling, you're very happy with this. You almost killed a shuttle, you killed 2 DTs, and you traded maybe 3 SCVs, something like that. Definitely a big pickup here for Sterling, as well as what did this tech do for BoA, right? All it did was delay his observers, delayed Reaver, if anything. It really is not the pickup you're looking for if you're BoA.
The DTs are annoying. They stop Terran from really being able to push out as far as like actually pushing to your natural or anything, just having to scan all the DTs, but it's not that much. We see another DT being funneled or reverse elevated into the main. If Sterling is paying too much attention to his natural, which it looks like he might be, this DT could start hammering away and getting some kills. So it gets 2 kills. Looks like it'll get at least a couple more here.
Yeah, this is doing too much damage now. I was expecting, as soon as you see the DT, you make an eBay, right? With no eBay, I mean, these DTs are doing now too much damage. So, and we're seeing
out
it.
Of scans.
This is, yeah, he's out of scans. He's just a little too greedy. You have to get an eBay if you're Terran here and you're playing versus DT drop. You would want to, right? Because you want the turrets to kill shuttles as well, but yeah, this is going to be a little unfortunate here for Sterling.
He did not respect the continuous DTs. He was expecting it just to be the single drop, but the follow-up from BoA being really effective, and it looked like Sterling was just playing to get science vessels, and that was going to be how he was going to get into the map. But I really like the follow-up DTs. That was really impressive and kind of ballsy play from BoA to really commit to it.
For sure. It's a big committal, but it paid off. It's exactly what he needed to do to stay in this game. Now we have 2 Armory Sterling with, you know, science facility. He's got to make a science vessel that he doesn't want. Oh no, he's only got 1 on gas that is natural too. He's a little gas starved, I think. Or, oh, 2 on gas, never mind. But yeah, that's 2 on gas for both, actually. It's a little unfortunate, especially if you're going Arbiter and Science Vessel and 2 Armories, for sure.
That is expensive, and this is kind of a late third from BoA here, almost at the 10-minute mark or so. He started the Nexus, the command center in the base for Sterling, so both of them are going to be taking their mineral onlys as their third. I feel like that was pretty late for BoA, though. I think Sterling's going to be pretty happy with the macro situation of this game.
Yeah, he's going to be for now. I mean, keep in mind, it's only a mineral only, and it's on, like, low ground. If Terran ever takes control of the high ground outside your base, that's a dead base. That's a guaranteed dead base. Still, though, for Terran, the mineral only is definitely a better option. He should be able to siege from the opposite side of the, you know, wall inside his main, which makes it way easier to hold. I don't know. I think with the double armory, Sterling's kind of shown his hand in that he's waiting for like a 2-1 timing, which, you know, can be very strong on this map.
Good build for good reason, and it lets him push out pretty comfortably to take his mineral only. He kind of knows what BoA has. He scanned the arbiters, and there's 100 energy here, so we're getting there to the point where we can start casting spells.
Ooh, no mines being placed though. He really needs the mine count to grow in order to kind of buffer this. Ooh, nice pickup on the observer though, from Sterling. Now just a single observer remaining, so that was very nice. Still no turrets.
Sterling have enough stuff though. We just saw it was an 11-minute engineering bay, so it's gonna be a minute for turrets here. But the Arbiter looks like it might go down with the focus fire from the Goliath. But with all the Zealots streaming in, Sterling may have sacrificed his army in order to pick that off. And I think BoA is gonna clean this up, at least to start with. Reinforcements from Sterling coming in behind. Will it be enough? All of the sieged up tanks are gonna go down. New mines being placed. Will it be enough? There is a mine drag going on, and looks like there are just enough reinforcements, maybe, for Sterling to hold.
I don't know how he does it, but I mean, Sterling just keeps barely holding time and time again here. Command center also just barely held. That was a miraculous hold. It felt like
dead.
From Sterling.
I thought he was dead. When those Zealots got on top of those tanks, I thought that fight was done.
I mean, that was really incredible. I'm shocked that he held that. It did not look like it was going to go that way as well. I think the stasis could have been better from BoA, but other than that, I think BoA did that very well.
Well, did pretty well, but Sterling again, he's just showing us over and over again. He's got some really, really great fight mechanics.
He's just resilient, man. He's just hanging in there. That's all he's been doing, but it's enough. We're seeing the supplies tip in favor once again here for Sterling. 102 supply to 95, and everyone who knows this matchup knows BoA's in some trouble now. Like, he's in some serious trouble. We're seeing 4 more tanks rally into the natural here. He's just got to back up. He's got to find something. He's got to get bases. I don't know how you come back into this now if you're BoA.
Yeah, he's been using the stasis marginal effect, like we just saw the one that got a science vessel and a single tank, but with that being the only effect of the spells, without any Reavers, without any Templar to back it up, he just can't actually take these fights. The 4th for BoA is going up, but is going to get scouted out by these Vultures who are just going to start picking off probes, and yeah, BoA is not going to be happy right now. He's only been building off of 2 Nexuses for most of this game, so...
Yeah, brilliant scan, brilliant scouting there from Sterling. As you said, I mean, BoA's biggest play to get back in this is he's got to get that fourth up, he's got to get it running, and Sterling just doing a perfect trade with his vultures for all of those probes. So yeah,
Technically, he has 4 bases, but he has no probes, so...
Yeah, I mean, you need that fourth base to already be saturated at this point. So now we're seeing, you know, more and more probes have to be built. And Sterling's actually just taking a fourth mid-left.
Sterling is just on top of everything here right now. That vulture run by finding that fourth is a sneakily decisive play here that really restricts BoA's options.
Yeah, it really does here. We are seeing BoA trying to just get what he can. He's clearing mines around the map, trying to keep a position scout on these vulture run-bys that have just been inevitable here out of Sterling.
There's room for another one. If Sterling wants to try another one, I think there's room.
Yeah, he might. I mean, you obviously want to like go for that fourth, but you know, BoA is trying to keep his army towards the top side of the map now to prevent that a little bit.
If you lose too many probes at a nexus, you can always just build another nexus, which it looks like that might be how BoA solves the probe saturation. Well, actually, it looks like he's really done a pretty good job of replenishing all of his probes, though. Really on top of it.
He's definitely been on top of it. It's just a little far behind at the moment. It's only a 15 supply lead now for BoA, and this is once again like 2 armory. So it's not like Sterling is waiting for upgrades. If he moves out with like 3-1, 3-2, suddenly, you know, Protoss Dragoons and Zealots just pop. You need some kind of tech, whether that's Storm, whether that's Carrier, whether that's more Arbiters. You know, the tanks will just start doing too much damage. Oh, and it's a recall from BoA.
The recall. There are mines in place, but that's a lot of supply depots at risk if he can get the recall off. And here we go. Here we go. Maybe.
Yep, huge recall into the main. Very good timing here from BoA. Oh, the nice storms on the ramp.
On the ramp is going to be really, really nice. And now I'm kind of curious what he wants to go for. If he wants to just keep delaying this and keep the, or if he's going to actually target any of the tech buildings or anything. But it looks like he's not actually going to get the opportunity. Sterling with a pretty decent response here. It looks like he's going to be able to keep bringing his forces back and clear this out.
Yeah, I think he's got enough. Really, that 3-2 timing just kicked in. So suddenly, all of these siege tanks 2-shot Dragoons, basically. And it's, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for BoA to even engage Sterling's army here from now on. Still, though, the Arbiter's doing some pretty good harassment. There's not enough, you know, Goliaths to really take that out at the moment. But I think
many mines.
Yeah, it's so many mines. He's just recall proof. He's just trying to be recall proof. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
There's no room in the main for another recall. There's no room in the third for a recall. And I almost wish right there that BoA had been able to, is he really going to do it? Is he going to try and recall on top of this? I think he is. There's mine, so all the SCVs might blow up.
Whoa, big mine connects, but I mean, so many SCVs fell as well. It's, oh no. I mean, that's another army, though, of BoA that's just completely been wiped. We're seeing Sterling take a commanding supply lead this game. So I think this is Sterling's go time, man. He needs to just consolidate his forces and push a base.
March of the Terran Metal Army. And I'm not sure what BoA really has in response to this. I don't think that Arbiter has any spells on it. I think he's just got Zealots, Dragoons, no Storm to try and fight this off.
Yeah, I think you're right. Storm might be, you know, a beneficial thing for him at this point. You should consider, but it's just, you know, like a handful of Dragoons and Zealots versus so much Dragoons, or so many siege tanks and so many vultures. Great stasis, though. Gotta say.
Stasis. Is it enough, though? That is a stasis on 6 tanks, which is great. And we do have Dragoons coming up here that can try and start taking the tanks out if there's enough there. There is a great storm. There it is. That's the storm that we were looking for. So BoA is able to pick off a lot of those forward tanks. But once the stasis runs out, I think these tanks just go into siege mode, assuming that Sterling can just rally Vultures and Goliaths up here to support them.
Yeah, Sterling's just been relentless, man. I mean, we're seeing the rally start to kick in now. Once those units become unstasised here from Sterling, I think he just continues the timing. Ooh, big pickup. Nice job by Sterling jumping on top of that single High Templar. And yeah, here come the siege tanks.
That Vulture timing, the reinforcing Vultures to get in there right as the stasis is coming out is so good. And that's going to force the GG from BoA. So Sterling, who predicted Sterling advancing as our number one?
Bata Bata is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts to move as soon as Bata Bata starts to play. Bata Bata is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts to move as soon as Bata Bata starts to play. Bata Bata is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts Butter butter is the name of a dance we do down Johannesburg way. And everybody starts to move as soon as Pata Pata starts to play.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BSL19 Pro. And spawning top right side of Radion as the blue Terran from Poland, we have kogeT.
And in the top left, in red, we have our Terran player SPX. So both players here in the losers match, game one. Radion, near positions, so that's
Yep.
always fun to start. We actually have we had any cross map bonds yet
No.
today? I don't think so.
Not in anything. It's been like actually just purely close every game. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, no cross map yet. There's time. It could happen.
Well, we got
Yeah,
at least 3 more games, so or 4 more games.
Yeah, at least. But yeah, I guess the only read we can really make here early on is just we've seen kogeT's TVT. He's very good at TVT, but he has that tendency to go into the faster expansion, and that kind of got him in trouble versus Sterling, I'd say. So maybe he'll make some adjustments here. Maybe not. Maybe it's just how he likes to play TVT.
Everyone's kind of got their own style, and I gotta think SPX has played kogeT more than a few times, so I would assume that he knows kogeT's kind of tendencies. So but at the same time, SPX did get to see how Sterling was so successful. So if he wants to replicate a couple of those strategies, I'm sure that's rolling through his head if he can maybe take advantage of this extremely early command center for kogeT.
True. I mean, it's literally what we've been saying. He just has a clear, strong tendency to have the faster expansion in this matchup. And, it's not like it's PvP where it's like really it feels impossible to hold a quicker expansion, but it might as well be. It's not an easy matchup to hold an expansion by, any means. And yeah, unfortunate once again for kogeT, this is close positions. So travel time will be minimized. Potential for early aggression to go SPX's way here is pretty high. And actually, we're seeing SPX stay on gas here after building the factory.
Yeah, interesting choice there. SPX gets the SCV kill, and he's working on the one building and command center as well. A Marine marching across the map. It looks like maybe a second Marine, or that could be a second SCV coming across as well. So this SPX SCV really doing a ton of work as the Marine gets involved as well. kogeT really wants this. kogeT wants this so bad.
He wants it so bad, man. Like, just insult to injury, dancing around with the 5 HP SCV. Man, things just looking like they're going SPX's way here to start things off. 2 SCVs are slowed. Command Center's been slowed. Oh my, he's gonna get the Marine, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Yep. The bunker gets up, but with nothing in it, 3 Marines will be peppering away at any Marine that pops out for kogeT if he can. No, okay, it does get into the bunker, so that will stop it. That will stop the rush. But did SPX do enough there, you think, to set himself up? He's going with the forward factory, so his vultures will get there even faster. Is that enough?
I think he did enough. I think he knows that he has 3 of those SCVs and kogeT's natural are basically dead. At some point, SCVs are going to be pulled to stop this 2 factory timing, and those are not just basically dead units. So if SPX is really on top of his targeting like he has been, I think kogeT's in some serious trouble here.
And SPX going with factory add-ons as well, so this isn't just going to be a Vulture Flood or something. This is going to be tanks coming in to hammer away at that bunker. Some good micro there from kogeT to pick off a Marine, but I think the key is going to be here once the tanks show up and start shooting that bunker, or how long until kogeT can actually get enough forces of his own to respond.
2-port Wraith actually out of kogeT, and I mean, great targeting there. Yeah, it definitely works against tanks. Oh, he does see the tank, though, moving across the map. But look at kogeT, man. I mean, he is just getting so spicy with these early Marines. He definitely has taken the better trade and started to kind of flip this game on its head.
Yeah, I like that he's playing with a little bit of attitude, you know? Like, you're not going to sit there out of my base with just a couple Marines. I've got more. Like, get out. Go home. Go home. But the first tank for SPX does come up, starts hammering away at this bunker like we saw in previous games. How long until the Wraiths come out? And what does SPX do when he sees Wraiths? If he sees 2-port Wraiths and you see, 1 and then 3 Wraiths pop out and you have nothing in preparation.
I mean, he's got to get an armory, I guess, and start getting Goliaths onto the field. Oh, big siege here already from SPX. This could do yeah, in fact, we're seeing kogeT just abandon the natural. He needs to get Wraiths on the map to have a chance against this.
It just feels like they're taking so long to build. They're so close. There it is. Okay, there's the first Wraith out onto the field. But 2 SCVs can out-repair a single Wraith, that's for sure. So he's going to need a whole lot more to push back these tanks.
Big siege now for kogeT on the ramp. But actually, Vulture's getting... Oh, wow. Nice defense there with the SCVs. He almost lost 2 tanks.
And one SCV
you know what?
repair a Wraith. It's close.
Yeah, it's very close. Second Wraith is coming into play, though. I think kogeT holds. Oh, no. Big Mind Connect. I don't know why he moved that tank down, but... Wraiths are starting to come out in numbers, and I think that's going to be a difference maker here for kogeT.
And SPX doesn't have an expansion, doesn't have much of anything off of his one base eco. So if kogeT can simply get SCVs mining again in his natural, I think this becomes very, very, very difficult for SPX to transition.
Yeah, it really does. With no natural, I mean, kogeT's, it's a given. He's just going to have, the early eco lead. At the same time, though, there's so many mines inside the main that this looks a little scary for kogeT. There's big potential for him to lose some very expensive units here. So
is it time to see some kogeT Wraith micro that we've been kind of teasing?
I think so. I think he's going for it this game with the 2-port. So hopefully he gets to showcase it. And I mean, we are kind of seeing it so far. It's not like they haven't picked off a couple tanks. It's not like they haven't been harassing, the main here of SPX already. Does kill off that forward barracks, and we remember how good kogeT was at utilizing his own lifted barracks in these tank versus tank engagements.
Something you don't see often. Wraiths shooting down Vulture mines. That's a different way to handle the problem.
yeah. At least mines can't jump up into the air. Could you imagine? Like,
not
just you move your Wraith over a mine and it just just jumps up into the air and blows up all your Wraiths. That'd be annoying.
That's the next Blizzard patch. Now we have jumping mines.
Yeah, jumping mines. Oh man, Muta control would just not be a thing. It would be like StarCraft 2, actually.
How do you counter mutas? No, it's not a radiate. It's just mines.
Just vultures. Let's just make vultures counter everything. Actually, that's the play. But
I think there's a lot of Terran players that will be happy.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure. Oh, whoa! SPX is gonna try to counter this by going 2-port Wraith of his own. It's kind of a shocker given how invested kogeT is into Wraiths. With the, he's got Cloak on the way. He's already got a Wraith lead. I'm a little surprised to see this out of SPX.
Yeah, same. I thought he would definitely be going for a turret defense plus Goliath. I think kogeT might be moving into dropships as well. I couldn't tell for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. He's already got the add-on, so he's at least got that option available to him at any point. But you know what's funny is we're seeing no more wraiths being produced out of kogeT here. So this might be a good call from SPX, just given that kogeT's abandoning the wraith play.
I see your rates and I upgrade you more rates. I mean, if kogeT's not ready for it, I can't imagine why kogeT would really be building Goliaths or missile turrets right now. So there's definitely a window if he can catch the rates off guard and start picking off tanks or other things.
Yeah, absolutely. He does scout that proxied factory of SPX in the center of the map. So that's a big pickup. He's at least going to confirm, suspicions about the early 2-fact play. If he ever does gain solid map control, he could force a lift there, and that's a missing add-on in productions, factory add-on that is. So could be big. Oh, but here we go. Both players moving to meet in the center of the map. kogeT getting on top of at least this factory position. Cloak is utilized. And yeah, kogeT at least going to be taking out this factory here of SPX.
Yeah, quite annoying too, because he does have the add-on there, so that's definitely why he didn't want to abandon the position. A lot of times you'll see the forward factory that just get lifted off and taken somewhere back, but with the add-on as well, it's extra painful. Now he can't lift it because there's wraiths, and it's simply gonna fall. But he does get the tank out. That was A-okay for SPX to get the tank out. That was at the very last second, and that actually might be enough to let him hold some kind of territory here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, it is 4 tanks. There's even the turret, and now the wraiths of SPX going to be coming into play here. So a little wraith versus wraith action, and SPX coming out on top. Wow.
Dude, the wraith transition, I can't believe that worked, but no armory for kogeT. We see it just coming up now. There's effectively no anti-air for kogeT right now.
Yeah, that's
Marines
a really
don't count.
ballsy play versus 2-port wraith. I'm so shocked, but it ends up being the right call here.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, kogeT is going to run out with his vulture, see if maybe they can do something. While they're certainly not going to help against the wraith, so might as well try and do something with him. If there is an opening at the natural and SPX on top of it, going to go ahead and take away that opening with building. So SPX with this late wraith transition, really, really successful.
Yeah, great wall timing. Knows that the potential for those vultures to be out on the map is imminent, and he's just not going to take any damage from it. At the meantime, these wraiths just continue to tear down the siege tank line of kogeT. kogeT not really, able to do anything about it.
I mean, kogeT's down to 2 tanks right now. He's down to 2 tanks and then the marauding vultures, and that's it. I think this might be a potentially killing blow from SPX with these wraiths just picking everything off.
I think you're right. These are unupgraded, no cloak wraiths, but they are just having exceptional targeting here from SPX. He's going to be able to use the wraiths to scout the high ground as well. Oh, nice scan going off there from kogeT to tear down 1 siege tank.
And the wraiths going for the command center forces the Goliaths down, and you can see how delicate that position is there. If that command center is a little bit lower and the Goliaths have to come down earlier, the tanks from SPX can get into play, but kogeT able to kind of manage that situation, timing out just right so he can save that command center, because that command center falls and that's pretty much game.
Yeah, absolutely. If you lose your natural CC like this late into a TVT, it's just a big blunder. It's so difficult to come back from. We do see kogeT stabilizing for now, right? He's got a Goliath count. Tanks count is building. He's mining from his natural. If you're kogeT, you've got to take your third at this point. It's just the only way back into this one, I think. So big surround.
There's a ton of units for kogeT. That is a huge number of Goliaths that he is able to turn out.
Yeah, it really is. Still, though, good amount of wraiths here from SPX, and I feel like he didn't overbuild them either. So just a healthy amount of wraiths that are going to be annoying, you know, stop drops, allow SPX to start pushing out and taking the center of the map.
And as long as you keep those rates alive, it forces kogeT to just constantly be mixing in Goliaths. Because if your Goliaths fall out on the map and you haven't already prepped a new round, well, now these 8 rates get to go and have some fun. So SPX actually is kind of poke around here, see if there is some room where the missile turrets are not, and there is, and he is going to just start picking off SCV. So it looks like he's getting 4, 5. Oof. He's getting a ton of value out of these rates. SPX is doing a lot of work with these things.
Yeah, I'm so impressed by Terrans that have incredible Wraith control like this, because that is not easy to do with a very fragile unit, you know. But SPX does kind of catch kogeT maybe being a little greedy, right? It's only a turret and a Goliath sitting at that natural, and he does pay the price for it. Loses quite a few SCVs there.
And again, I love that he saves them, because if there aren't turrets at the third, well, now he can go bother the third, and it just makes them constantly annoying and at the same time very, very relevant.
Yeah, exactly. They force turrets to be made. But yeah, kogeT at least going to take some solace in that he's got the faster third base, so just by a little bit. But he's even taking a fourth? Whoa.
That's a lot of courage, knowing that there's Wraiths and Vultures out on the map. That's a lot of courage thinking you can get that through. And I don't know, SPX might catch it right now, actually.
Yeah, I think he's going to. He's going to maybe make him punish for it. But, oh, the turret gets up just in time, so maybe the base will actually... Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be able to get that 4th command center up. Oh, never mind. Here come the Vultures.
Wraiths and Vultures, man. You can't take naked expansions with Wraiths and Vultures on the map. Nope.
Yeah, they're just so mobile, right? It looks like kogeT gonna try to get... Okay, does actually manage to get his own group of Vultures over here with a couple Goliaths. And they're at least gonna hold on to this partially built command center for now.
Does SPX stay on 3 base here and try and force a fight, or does he expand himself? He knows what kogeT's plan is, so he gets to make the next choice.
It looks like both players are kind of happy to just start expanding. We're seeing both players not push towards each other's base, but just start setting up their lines in the center of the map. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're just gonna set up their... Never mind. Here comes SPX.
Yeah, that's a very long line from kogeT, so SPX is just going to focus on the north side of it, and he's going to barge right in with Vultures and tanks sieging up, and it looks like he's going to take out this entire northern side of the split map position. So SPX busts the map wide open, and kogeT is going to need a ton of tanks in order to go ahead and retake this spot. Otherwise these tanks start crawling towards your natural.
For sure. I mean, we haven't even seen the Wraiths come into play yet. Oh, wow. Big opening found here from SPX. Will dive with a few Vultures onto the 3rd base mineral line of kogeT. There is a counter opportunity here, I think, for kogeT, because SPX's own 3rd is not very well defended, but I don't know if he's going to recognize it.
These scans are for us. Scan, scan, scan. But I guess he's only got 2 command centers at this point, so, well, probably doesn't have that many scans. But SPX stopping the 3rd base is huge. He's killed so many SCVs this game. Between the natural from like minute 2 all the way to minute 18, he's been killing SCVs constantly.
I mean, he's been killing SCVs. He's been killing so many tanks as well. We're seeing him take almost a 50 supply lead at some point, or at this point rather. So yeah,
he's not even sieging. He's just attack walking now.
Yeah, he's just got such a unit count advantage, it looks like. kogeT trying to rally his forces and defend one of his last remaining bases bottom right, but SPX really just has it isolated. It's only a matter of time before bottom right gets heavily pressured here from SPX.
Yeah, that's the next move to kind of close this all out, as SPX kind of finishes off these last few tanks, neutralizes the bottom right 4th, and at that point kogeT's pretty much mined out.
Yeah, you know, SPX has consistently been taking the later bases, but he's making sure he can secure them. That's really just kind of been the difference in this game. I don't know. Here we go. Good. I mean, good trading here for the most part from kogeT, but just the relentlessness of SPX with these vultures eventually going to end up breaking this tank line bottom right.
And there's a couple units left from kogeT, but I think if he takes those 2 tanks and 3 vultures and just walks them down, I think he's got it. But kogeT has macroed up a pretty solid army here at his natural. If he can make a move with it, maybe he can kind of work his way back into stabilizing his third and see where he goes from there. And that looks like that's going to be his move.
Yeah, if he's going to do it, he's got to go now, so I like the timing of it. But, I mean, these siege tanks are in such a great position here of SPX. I don't know if he can do it. Okay, only a single tank remaining. It looks like kogeT just barely going to be able to break through it.
I do worry, though. kogeT has so little money. Like, he can't even be using all his factors right now. He's mining off of 1 base, and this third is just now coming back up. He's down 60 supply, and I think it's going to get a little worse here before it gets any better.
Bottom right, as we said, has been completely isolated. Now finally overwhelmed here from SPX. kogeT trying to move out, trying to get good trades, but oh, good mine connects there from SPX. And I mean, he's just getting the more efficient trades due to positioning.
Wipes out all of the SCVs in the bottom right. We have an 80 supply lead at this point. Yeah, kogeT's got to be looking towards game 2, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of collecting his thoughts here, just recognizing where he's at in this game. SPX, I mean, really played just phenomenally. And yep, GG is called there from kogeT, and SPX going to end up taking game 1 here. Sometimes players can take advantage of that. They know what they're going to be facing off against. But that's not even fair, because SPX has played him so many times, right? Like, they just know each other's tendencies by now, I'm sure.
You have to. They're both old men. Like, look at that. They're what, 36, 35? Yeah, they've played hundreds of games with each other. For sure. I mean, yeah, these are 2 staple Terrans that have been in the scene for so many years at this point. Yeah, they're you know, they've played thousands of times, and I'm sure both players know it could just be someone's day, whether it's kogeT or SPX at the moment. Yeah. We'll see whose day it is for game 2.
Yeah, exactly, man. We'll see whose day it is for game 2. I'd like to see. I mean, at this point, you know, I'd like to see kogeT maybe change it up and not go for the faster early expansion, but who knows? It looks like map going to be Pantheon, might favor an earlier expansion style of play. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Both our players are ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 here on Pantheon. And spawning top left side as the red Terran, we have kogeT.
And in the bottom right, giving us our first cross spawn of the day, we have SPX as our blue Terran here on Pantheon. I think, is this our first game on Pantheon as well? I don't think anyone's picked it yet.
Yeah, you're right. It's first one for today for sure. So another big 4-player map. I think like the unique details of this map are really that weird ramp that goes from your main to your natural can be just odd for skirmishes. As well as it's a map with a mineral only, which is, I'd say, a little less popular in recent maps. So cool to see.
Yeah, there is kind of a lack of mineral-only bases in newer maps, which I think it's okay. I think most people just want to see gas units anyways, right? Like, we just want to see big stuff go boom, so kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it just lends itself to a different style of play for sure. Like Dominator being the other map that at the moment has got a mineral only. You know, normally they're just to you see them mostly utilized in TVP, and you know, maybe it might be a little easier for Terran to expand towards their opponent with it or something like that, but not, you know, big in ZVP. Not a big priority, let's say, in the matchup.
And it looks like both players just going to go with pretty standard openings, going to go ahead and take their refineries. No shenanigans, no center raxes, nothing like that. So we'll see how the scouting patterns work out. Both of them sending SCVs out at the same time. But I think SPX may actually be looking for a cross scout, which will give him that advantage as far as knowing what the situation is between these two and just how far the rush distance really is. This is a long rush distance.
Yeah, it seriously is. I mean, DejaVu, we were talking about, we hadn't even seen a cross map, game so far today. So this is actually going to end up being the first one. And I mean, if you like the late game, style of TVT, this is really so far got the biggest opportunity of any game we've seen today to be just like a late macro TVT.
I like that even the late scouting SCV from SPX is still being annoying, still able to get in there and just start hammering away at these SCVs, annoying the Marine even as he can before he gets ushered out. Just trying to be as obnoxious as possible and just be in kogeT's head.
Yeah, it's a really, just kind of solid style, right? If you're kogeT, this is your tournament life on the line. You need this win. So you really have to be on top of every single thing your opponent's doing. I like that kogeT's kind of changed it up. Oh no.
No.
Oh no. If there was one game today where you might want to see an expansion first out of kogeT, it would have been today, this game. But he's going 2-fact DejaVu, and this is cross map.
Yeah, this is not going to be great for him once he figures out just how not not weak SPX is. Like, he's even getting his second command center, but with the his first factory already up, he's going to already have way too much by the time there's any sort of crawl around. So kogeT does see it. We'll see how hard he decides to commit to this, or if he tries to, move into a macro game in some way. But he's not going to be happy when he sees that bunker already going up for SPX as well. He knows what the deal is.
Yeah, he knows he's committed so much with this early second factory. I think if you're kogeT, you don't get an add-on, right? You pump maybe like 5-7 vultures, hit your timing, and then just take a command center off of it and hope for the best. But with the travel time being so much on this map, this is really difficult. That being said, SPX only has a single factory. And yeah, he's way out of position with his 2 vultures. They're definitely not going to help defend here. So this is maybe a little scary here for SPX. Oh, but as I say that, SPX just captures a vulture for free there.
That is takes so much courage though, because this is the counter, is the vultures from kogeT just walk right into your base if you're SPX, and now they take control of the ramp, kill all of the SCVs there. Luckily, at least the command center is up, but he's going to start bleeding SCVs to all of these vultures, and both of them getting a lot of damage. But I kind of like that kogeT's position here. He's able to kill a ton of SCVs, and at the same time, he's going to have enough reinforcing vultures to defend his own.
Yeah, SPX, though, still doing a little bit of work with the 2 vultures at kogeT's own main. But yeah, these 3 vultures from kogeT absolutely doing the damage they needed to. And kogeT, I gotta say, turned what we were thinking was like pretty much a lost position into a massive turn of events here. And he clearly has the lead this game.
That was a wild decision from SPX. He knew that it was crossbound position. He had a sneak. He snuck his SCV in there, so he knew there was an expansion. So he knew kogeT was doing something, and he still used his vultures and threw them out. He kind of split decisions there, right? He built the bunker and landed the racks to be defensive, but then sent out his early vultures, and didn't quite work out the way he was hoping for, that's for sure.
If it was 1-fact, I think it would catch a lot of Terrans off guard. I really don't think he expected a 2-fact cross map out of kogeT, and that's probably partially what came to play. But I mean, that being said, we've been saying it all day. We want to see kogeT kind of switch it up, be the Terran to not take the earlier expansion just once, and I mean, he's absolutely rewarded for it, even given a bad position to start.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think SPX is down to about 15 SCVs, so this is going to be a long road back to even having a truly functional economy. We see Goliaths coming out from SPX in case there's any Wraith follow up or just even help against the vultures. But I'm not sure where SPX really goes from here. I'm not really sure where he transitions to.
I mean, it is Terran. I think, you know, he's basically kind of already on the path, but he's just got to secure that economy, try to take a third base. There's not a ton of great options other than try to endure at this point.
Do what Terrans do best and turtle up.
Yeah, basically. Get your siege mode, get some turrets, you know, take the faster third base, be smart with your units. You know, it's going to be really tough. Oh, and we're actually, yeah, SPX is just really struggling for resources at the moment.
Like, his main mineral line only has like 5 or 6 SCVs on it still. Like, it is so barren. So it is some pretty inefficient mining going on. Goliath's going to at least force this barracks away, so at least the vision is gone. But I think kogeT's just looking at this like, I just macro up, hit my timings, build up my tank count, and get across.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're starting to see that red move across the map here from kogeT. He must recognize he's in the better position and looking to apply some pressure, and I think it's the right call.
Yeah, he's got more tanks already than SPX, or it's about even, give or take, but he's got, what, 6 vultures to the 1 vulture and 2 Goliaths, something like that we've got going on. So we'll see if Siege's actually finishes. I think SPX does not have Siege yet, whereas kogeT's is. Yeah, there it is. That's what we have. And the spotting barracks is going to do some great work for kogeT, and he's going to destroy that bunker in no time.
Yeah, how many times have we heard that today? kogeT is just, I mean, so good with these spotting barracks. He's so good with just finding that tank time positioning that he needs. I mean, he's just increasing a lead at this point.
Yeah, 28 supply. It is a rough position right now. SPX holding on by a thread. He's literally got 4 units in defense right now. It is virtually nothing.
Yeah, it's not much. At the same time, I mean, he just can't stop making SCVs at this point. He's got to fix this economy if he ever wants a hope of getting back into this game. So I get why he's playing, you know, a little scrappy with his units at the moment.
We saw it yesterday. We saw Dandy come back against Terror. He had, what, 3 tanks, 2 Terrors. I don't even know how much stuff he was pouring into Dandy's base, and he pulled it off. So we've definitely seen it. It can happen again.
Yeah, that was an exceptional game. Man, Dandy had an incredible comeback yesterday. That was nuts. But yeah, hopefully SPX was watching BSL yesterday, because he's got to make quite the comeback himself here to win this game number 2. Here we go,
kogeT. Stabilized, so that's good.
Yeah. He's at least restabilized his natural for sure. Yeah, we're seeing the SCV count slowly continue to rise here for SPX, but there's no Stargate, I don't believe, so there's no like real drop. Oh, he's just going for it.
He's going for the push out, pulls the SCVs off the line, but there is enough vultures, I think, getting in the way to block them out. 2 tanks left for SPX, a third one coming up behind, but all of the SCVs go down. 4 tanks left for kogeT, and this breakout is not going to work for SPX. kogeT's just going to go ahead and reestablish with reinforcing tanks.
Yeah, I mean, that was all the economy there for SPX, so I get why he G3. So both our players are ready to go. Let's jump into Game 3 on DejaVu. Alrighty. Spawning top right side. As blue Terran, we have SPX.
And down in the bottom right corner, we have our red Terran, kogeT, on DejaVu. So we're back to near spawns. I'm going to open up with my prediction that since kogeT normally expands early, but he was rewarded for a 2-fac here, I think he goes with either a 2-fac or Starport Wraith opening again. I think he leans into what rewarded him.
I think it's a good call, honestly. I mean, it would pay off more this game, right? Being close positions, for sure. So yeah, I hope so, because I think he just needs to get into a game, and his mechanics like tend to kind of carry him over. But when he's doing these like risky command center before gas openers, and he's just basically click and repair on a bunker and anything can happen, it's just a little scary. Why would you want to give map control up so early, TVT, by doing that?
SPX, yeah, looks like they're just going to go racks openings in base here to start with. Refinery for kogeT. SPX, will he be going for a 14cc? Nah, he's going for a refinery as well. So, yeah, going to see the standard openings for both players. I want to see SPX actually pull out. I feel like SPX should be able to pull out a dropship play here. I feel like we haven't seen a really great vulture drop or anything here today, so that's what I'm rooting for SPX. I think that maybe switch things up a little bit, avoid the ground war, and join the air battle.
I think that's a great call, given their positions relative on the map, right? SPX is expanding towards kogeT's base. There's plenty of neutral ground between their mains. And the main of kogeT is open on DejaVu. One of the big characteristics of this map is a fairly large open main. There's plenty of room to drop here. So, you know what? I like your call.
Well, let's see if I can pick it. It is my map, so like I feel like maybe I can channel a little bit.
Yeah, you're definitely the DejaVu expert. You're named after it, man. It's pretty cool. Well, both barracks are lifted off, starting to do a little bit of scouting. No scout yet from SPX. Meanwhile, kogeT scouting the wrong side of the map. So, unfortunate. He's probably going to get last scout here.
Yeah, gonna get his last scout, but I feel like kogeT always has a plan. He seems like every game he knows exactly how he's gonna open, and I don't think he cares unless something really kind of crazy comes out from SPX. I think he knows how he's gonna start.
Yeah, I think he does as well, and it's actually just mimicked openers from both players here. So yeah, command center, around 22 supply. Just building a couple Marines, early Vulture for each player off one fact. Looks like SPX already back on gas, maybe slightly earlier than kogeT. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty even.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same build from both of them. Neither of them are going to get anything resembling a scout in, so just going to have to go fairly conservative and safe, until your barracks can kind of float over there and confirm some things.
Yeah, they're kind of judging. You see the one Vulture move out here from kogeT. He's, sees a single Vulture, not two Vultures, not three Vultures, so he can likely guess it's an expansion. But yeah, it's hard to say until the barracks gets there for sure.
I do like that kogeT's moving his Vulture throughout the middle of the map. He's kind of looking around, making sure there wasn't like a center factory or a proxy of any kind. If you can't get your proper scout in, then it helps to kind of look around and just kind of cross those T's. Ooh.
He got caught. I think,
kogeT.
Yeah, that's a big loss there for kogeT. So, being punished by moving a little too far forward with that Vulture. At least the tanks here, it looks like that's enough to scare off these Vultures of SPX for now. But it's a 3-fact Vulture timing now from SPX.
kogeT's going to counter with 3 facts of his own slightly later, so there will be a window there where SPX already has the unit lead right now, so he might be able to find a window. kogeT is going to play a little defensive here with supply depots in front, and that should make any sort of a Vulture run by pretty difficult to impossible.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I like the wall off here from kogeT. Just wants to get into a game. Zero pointing out the armory of SPX here, so he at least has that Goliath potential, early upgrade potential, a little faster. Double add-on on the factories as well, does SPX.
SPX has been enjoying the extra add-ons, pumping out a bunch of tanks pretty early. It's been a nice flavor from him.
Yeah, he's gotten pretty aggressive with them too. We even see the faster natural gas from SPX. So, I mean, he's definitely kind of showing his hand that he wants to be a little more gas intensive. Ooh, these vultures are in prime counter positioning here.
Well, we said there wouldn't be a backstab opportunity, but if you move all your units out, then it can magically form. But the reinforcements from kogeT, will they be able to stop the vultures? The vultures come through and they're going to pick off a couple SCVs. Not too bad, nothing too much. And at the same time, kogeT's going to catch a couple of these tanks from SPX. If he can pick these off, these would be huge. SCV's actually blocking his own tanks, and he does lose the one tank, and we'll save the other.
Yeah, I don't think that was the trade you're hoping for if you're SPX. Suddenly, kogeT's outside your natural. He's on high ground. He's got a good amount of tanks. All SCVs being pulled off the line. SPX has decided he cannot give up this high ground, but it's too late. The reinforcements of kogeT going to dive on top of these SCVs that are remaining. Has the tank advantage as well. Oh, kogeT just making a killer call here to move in.
Wow. That was a great couple just small plays to get a couple unit advantage here and there, and wow, this is awesome. But Siege Mode is finished for SPX, so he might be able to stabilize from here. Terrans just never die, do they? They look like they're gonna die, but they never ever die.
I love the retreat timing here from kogeT, choosing to basically just keep both these tanks operable and on that high ground positioning. We keep talking about how important, and GG is called. SPX had to call it. I was just about to say how. All right, folks. Yeah, I think we're going to be going into this match here in just a few moments, but it's going to be BoA versus kogeT. Obviously, the American versus the Polish Terran.
Oh wait, I've got to choose between the American and the guy I share a birthday with. Oof,
Oh,
rough.
true. Yeah, that is kind of rough. Yeah, it's too funny. BoA. I mean, we already got to kind of see his PVT showcased earlier today. We know he's, such a strong Protoss from the USA, loves his Robo Reaver timings, but kind of capable of doing it all. And this is going to be the first time today we're getting to see kogeT play in a TVP. So, yeah, we get to see a little something new out of him, which I'm sure he's going to be happy with. Yeah. Yeah, if it's PVT with BoA, I really expect the Robo Reaver to kind of come into play. I'm curious if kogeT's gonna maybe kind of stick with the same tendencies as far as just trying to expand early on, with maybe something like a gasless expand style, since he does like expanding, so quickly, it feels like. And if BoA is prepared for that, yeah.
kogeT got a chance to watch Sterling 2.0 BoA, so I don't know how much of what Sterling does fits into how kogeT likes to play, how much he can steal. But Sterling did show us how to 2.0 BoA.
For sure. I mean, and the stuff that Sterling was doing was really just a lot of very standard two-fact openers. Liked to go, Academy before eBay. That's maybe one little uniqueness, difference that I would say. Between Sterling and other Terrans, but yeah, anyways, map going to be Vermeer here, folks. Let's jump into game number 1. Yeah, let's check it out. And here we go, spawning bottom right side of Vermeer as the red Terran. It's kogeT.
That's right, and here in the bottom left of Vermeer, we've got in blue our Protoss, our American Protoss, BoA, here on Vermeer. So here we go. I am super excited. Final group, final match of the group. We've been here for, 3-4 hours, and yeah, kind of excited to see who the second guy to come out of this is, BoA or kogeT. I think a lot of people probably had BoA and kogeT as your top 2 seeds, so kind of interesting to see them here in the final match.
Yeah, I know I did. For sure. I know it's going to be very close between these two. I mean, we're talking about BoA's best matchup. It's definitely something he's exceptionally good at. But it's also kogeT, right? kogeT's off a little bit of a tear with that comeback versus SPX. We know he's good and warm now. It's not going to be an easy match for BoA by any means.
Yeah, for sure. And they are at near positions here, as usual, at the bottom of the map. Do you? It looks like it's going to be a later scout for BoA. He's going to go top left and going to get there very, very late. With Vermeer and kind of the high ground and situation, do you think it lends itself to anything particular here since they are close and on the bottom side?
I think drop is a possibility for BoA once again, just given, you know, their base positioning. kogeT's main would be open to an early shuttle drop. So that's an option here, I'd say. I want to point out once again, this is going to be a gasless opener from kogeT. He will be going early command center before gas again. So we were talking about centers. He does, man. Yeah, we were talking about tendencies though. You can't do it too often, but he's been doing it quite frequently here today.
And randomization, he does luck out that BoA's going to scout him last, so any sort of response that BoA wants to make will be slower at best. So I think kogeT's going to be pretty happy here with how that way plays out.
Yeah. He's at least got the Zealot on the way. It's going to be, you know, a pretty quick time Zealot here, but kogeT already in position with his wall. He's kind of built to be ready for this. Oh no, unless he misses the Zealot.
Is this the XPX move out? You just kind of accidentally let things sneak in behind you, because that SCV is going to get in here, annoy the SCV. If he gets bad luck with that SCV, that can get in trouble too. One more? Oh!
I think he needs two more.
It's so close.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying here. And actually, wow, it's even going to slip by and go into the main, so it's at least caused quite a bit of taxing multitasking here from BoA. And you know what? I see something mid-right here. Uh-oh.
BoA with his proxies. Is it DT or a Robo? What do you think?
It could even be Gateway. I think it's going to be a Gateway. That's my guess. We'll see.
Just regular gateway. You might be right. Look, it's just a core at home. No further attack. One of the Zealots does get picked off, but this other one's still doing work. Picks off a Marine. Looks like it might actually be able to hunt down this other one. I actually almost want to see him pick up the SCV again, that's building the command center. But that Zealot gets picked off as well, and a lot of damaged Marines. So Citadel of Adun from BoA, so it is going to be proxy DTs. He has decided that he's going to do this game like he started out against. Who did he do that against? It was his first game.
It was Sterling, right? Yeah,
that's when he won against Sterling, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. SPX, my bad.
SPX.
Yeah, it was against SPX. Yeah, and it ended up paying off for him. But he's kind of showed the hand. I am a little surprised to see it twice in one day from BoA here. But, I mean, it is a strong play, and it might end up being the right play here. But kogeT, with the frickin' 300 IQ scout, Jesus. He's won.
Yeah, like, how this can't be allowed. Like, kogeT has to be able to fend this off with fairly ease, right? Like, that's your tech building, that's a pylon and a gateway out there, all at risk. kogeT knows exactly what's coming. He's going to be prepared with mines or a turret. Yeah, it's that's rough for BoA. That's real rough.
It's real rough. It's not over yet, right? Like, Dragoons do good DPS. I think this is going to be the last Dragoon we'll see, though. So as long as kogeT out-repairs these 3 Dragoons, gets a turret down, I mean, he should theoretically hold this. But, you know, it's always easier said than done.
That SimCity, those DTs are going to have to walk all around the command center. Going to be more than open to SCVs blocking them with the turrets. I think kogeT's got this defended off pretty straightforward. I don't know if there's another alteration of this where we do bring in a dropship or a shuttle, but it looks like BoA's just going to go ahead and expand behind this and just kind of take the back foot here.
Yeah, I think he's got it. Tank on high ground. BoA's already expanding, so at least he's going for a follow-up. Oh no, DT's gonna die. I don't know why he did that. But
that was a little sloppy, yeah.
I guess he was just hoping that the barracks would pop, maybe, but or the bunker rather, but does not. And now, I mean, BoA's at least got map control, but kogeT's SCV count is enormous. He's got the much faster expansion. We're seeing that tank count start to rise, even feeling comfortable enough to get armory, second gas. And if you're kogeT, you're probably just going into a 5-fact timing off of this.
Yeah, I'd actually even like to see him get out there and kill that Citadel of the Dune so there's no zealot legs. Like that is so vulnerable out there, just sitting out there and asking to be taken out if he can get out onto the map at all. Yeah.
True. I mean, it will be nice for sure. I don't think he's going to be able to get out for a little bit, right? He's probably got to save up some scans. But no joke. When he is able to push out, that's going to be a nice bonus. Being able to kill off a gateway production, a pylon, and I mean 2 heavy tech buildings here from Protoss.
All that's got to get rebuilt if he wants to go into arbiters or have storm. Yeah, it's just really rough when your proxy DTs get scouted out. This is the exact opposite of what happened in BoA versus SPX.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why proxy DT is such a risk, right? It's definitely a risk reward. We saw the flip side of the coin versus SPX how great it can be, how much damage it can do so quickly in just end games. But I mean, if it gets scouted out like kogeT did here, it can absolutely be thwarted. Whoa, sneaks the vulture out. I like this from kogeT. That's gonna basically just scout for a third base, I guess.
Yeah, that's really nice. He snuck the SCV out to catch the proxy. Now he sneaks the vulture out to confirm the third and natural timing. Like this is just nice little scouting moves from kogeT. Really good principles.
Does see that there's no third base, at least close by to BoA at this point. Barracks does see the shuttle though, and this is concerning. It could be a DT drop in the main, but I believe kogeT's already prepared there. Ooh, nice scan. Sees the Stargate, knows it must be Arbiter play. And here we go. BoA just going to retreat.
Yeah, there's not a ton of room. With the 2 comsat stations and turrets kind of all over the place, it's pretty limited for a single DT to get too much work done in here. Now, if that tank, for example, was isolated there on the top of the ramp, that's the kind of thing that he could maybe pick off, though.
Yeah, would be nice. But it feels like kogeT's doing a good job kind of keeping units around it. We're seeing 3 more vultures move across the map here, scouting with some mines. Actually catch the probe looking to take the third. Another nice pickup here from kogeT, just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, this feels like a much more classic PvT. This is what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, for sure. Arbiters, Dragoons, observers, and oh man, are we getting pretty close to the timing?
We're getting pretty close. I do kind of want to keep track of Zealot legs. Did that finish? Does he have any Zealots? Like, that's really annoying if that doesn't actually finish. So when the push and the fight actually do come.
I don't think he does. DejaVu.
I don't either.
I think it's just too early. He's likely just spending all the gas he has just getting those arbiters up, and now suddenly no Templar archives. Yup, Citadel has to be remade, and suddenly if you're BoA, you're in a really rough position.
Yeah, Zealots without legs in a fight is pretty rough to watch. They're not as bad as Vultures without speed, but it's not a lot. It's not great.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, for sure. BoA looks to be taking his own third base. We're seeing the Nexus underway, but nope, this is kogeT's timing here. We're seeing all tanks unsiege, moving across the map. I believe he's rallied his 5-fact. So yeah, he knows this is his time to go.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
He gets right across the map. He gets almost to the natural without even getting disrupted, so BoA's not going to have a ton of time here to play delaying action. kogeT should be able to leapfrog some tanks to just about natural position, so this is going to get pretty tough pretty quickly.
Yep, look at those slow Zealots you were talking about, just trying to get in there. I mean, kogeT has saved up plenty of scans, so as long as he's paying attention to this Arbiter, I don't think it's going to be able to assist the Protoss forces too much. Big scan.
And now all those Zealots are basically dead or busted before the fight. If a turret comes up here with those SCVs, I don't know where the buildable terrain is, but I think a turret or two up here is just going to make this position so tough. But BoA coming in for a nice little counterattack to stop the reinforcements, but that is a ton of tanks at your natural rally, man. That is a ton of tanks.
Yeah, that's 8 tanks just sitting right on top of the natural. The Dragoon's not able to engage. The Arbiter not able to engage because of the turrets. Great turret positioning. I mean, great counter mine wall. And he's already behind the mineral line, picking off probes. The kogeT might have done it.
It's getting there. BoA's got units in a bunch of different directions if he can try for a pincer, but none of them are all that overwhelming. We see him coming in with the DTs, but great scans and mines picking them off. Tanks are a little bit open. Stasis catches 2 of them, and BoA may actually be able to get the flank and clean these up. I think
you're right.
That was a very artistic defense. Very nice.
Yeah, that was incredible. I'm so surprised he was able to hold this. I mean, he was in a really rough position here. Not that he's out of it yet. There's been so much damage done to this natural mineral line, but the Arbiter timing was on point. The stasis was exactly what he needed on those 2 tanks. But still, kogeT not out of it yet either.
Yeah, definitely still hangs in the balance. I'm very, very impressed that he was able to push that back. Those vultures got a ton of kills though in the natural. There was a ton of probes that went down. So do have 3 nexuses for BoA, so he'll be able to replenish. We saw the 3rd command center being built in the base for kogeT, so he'll float that down. And I think the game may just kind of settle down for a couple minutes as both players tech up and re-macro up.
Great vulture harass here from kogeT, just still keeping his foot on the gas. We saw the 3rd command center, so kogeT has chosen this as his time to just kind of sit and restabilize, secure his own economy. And I think it's a right call given everything that's happened. He's already applied enough pressure, done enough damage. He knows what BoA's tech is. So, you know, there's no surprises at this point.
I like these turret placements. He's already kind of prepping for a recall with these turrets. Probably, if he wants to be extra careful, drop some mines like we saw Sterling do. But yeah, this is a good idea. He knows the Arbiter tech is already out, and he's going to need that defense pretty early. Although I don't know if we've seen BoA really churn out the Arbiter numbers that we need yet. But that's definitely an option to go for that recall behind.
For sure, for sure. I don't know. It's definitely a tough spot for BoA. I guess, like, if you're BoA right now, how do you think you can get back into this?
I think you expand again. I think you go ahead and take your 4th and really build into a bigger macro game. You use your arbiters to delay, go for recalls, and you build up from a big macro game. I think that's probably BoA's best chance, because you don't want to sit here 3 base on 3 base, that's for sure. kogeT's just going to out macro you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's going to be his only opportunity to get back. He's got to get some type of a lead, you know, and economically sounds like the best option. It is Protoss, right? So Protoss tend to expand faster than Terrans. You know, maybe if he just expands and chooses to counter instead of engaging kogeT's forces head on, he might have a better shot. At the same time, I think BoA's biggest strength is really his unit control. He's got, I mean, we saw him basically just win that unwinnable fight outside his natural with some solid, you know, surround and shuttle timing and defense. So maybe he can get something done with it here.
Yeah, kogeT actually going for a 4th command center, so he's looking to outbase even BoA, well, or keep up with BoA's 4 bases. I'm curious what BoA's got in his head. I think he's got to go for a recall at some point. I think that's how he really gets his way back into this game.
Maybe recall the 4th or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's got to make some sort of move. I think kogeT's too comfy right now. I think he knows. I think he's just macroing up. He's going to hit his upgrade timings, and he's just going to max out for BoA.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think if BoA's able to just hide a Arbiter along the right side of the map, maybe just above the 4th, and waits for kogeT to move out and goes for, you know, a 4th base recall. As soon as kogeT's on the move, it might be able to kind of stall enough or discombobulate kogeT enough to get back in this one.
Yeah, missile turrets are great, but you can generally still get your recall off even if there is 3 or 4 of them. So I think that right side, that 4th base is a juicy target if he can get an Arbiter out there in position.
For sure. I mean, at least kogeT looks like he's not skimping on defense. There are turrets at these bases, you know, at that 4th. There's mines already placed at that 4th. Oh man, the probe count at the natural looks pretty rough for BoA, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, he didn't know what kogeT was going to do. He didn't know kogeT was going to take a 4th, so he probably really built into units there for quite a while until he figured out that kogeT wasn't coming for a killing shot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be scared. Anytime Terran has such a lead at that point, you know, he's got to prioritize unit production just to stay alive. And unfortunately, kogeT, you know, wasn't planning on going for a timing, so... Now he is, though. We're seeing a big unsiege here from kogeT.
He's maxed, so it's time to make move. Yeah, it's time to make your move wherever. If he wants to take over the whole top right and crawl that way, or if he wants to make a big move towards BoA's main, and he's got choices.
Yeah, he does have some options here. We'll have to see
if he
where
EMPs
he goes.
3 clumped arbiters again. If we see clumped arbiters again,
yeah, that would be rough. On the flip side, maybe if BoA gets... See, if he stasis all those tanks, maybe that's kind of the trade he needs. If he gets a... Oh, but man, BoA doesn't even know, it looks like. There's no observer over this army.
I think he's going to get that EMP, too. Come on. No, he got a good separation there by BoA, so he is going to be able to get some stasis down here. A lot of the Dragoons already dying before the stasis comes down. If they do come in getting a bunch of tanks, but I think a lot of BoA's army died before the stasis even started. So we see some forces dribbling in from the top, but it is not enough. And BoA might be back to the drawing board here in just a minute.
Yeah, big stasis is at least coming down here from BoA, but it's kind of forcing, it's kind of creating a wall off for these remaining siege tanks. Man, actually, somehow, with the storm drop, BoA might be able to... never mind. Here comes more rallying tanks here from kogeT.
I think he needed to get both top and left to attack at the same time. It just seemed like one was going, then the other, then the other, then the other. And his attention, unfortunately, just kept going back and forth.
Yeah, I think he was caught off guard a little bit. I don't think he quite knew kogeT was right outside his natural when it happened. So if he maybe bought a little more time, he would have had an easier hold.
So many vultures. That is going to be all the probes gone.
Yeah, unfortunate scan timing there for BoA. kogeT knows he's able to just move in, pick off all those probes, and can kind of back out while he waits for the tanks. Now engaging the 3rd base of BoA at the same time. I mean, he's still got a science vessel ready. This is rough.
Yeah, there's no defense of that 3rd. So the 3rd's going to fall, the natural's going to fall. BoA will have top left. I had that kind of 9 o'clock base still running, but unfortunately, that's about it. He's gonna be bleeding Nexuses at this point.
Yeah, he really is. Great spreading by kogeT here. I mean, really not allowing BoA to get optimal storms or even splash damage with the shuttle drops onto these siege tanks. kogeT just kind of rallying in still, just keeping on the pressure. And yeah, BoA's just kind of scrambling just to hold the ramp leading to his main.
Yeah, kogeT's pretty much at the position where it's don't act like a computer and just kind of play normally and siege up and just kind of take out these last couple bases. I do love the 2 tanks splitting off to go ahead and take out that 9 o'clock base. Push out from BoA, gonna try and stream some zealots in to get rid of some of these tanks. So get rid of a couple. It may be enough to break out here. Gets rid of the front 4 or 5 or so, but there's still 5 more tanks in the back. This is such a deep contain.
It's the spreading, man. Like, he's doing a great job with the unit spreading. It is not easy to do. Still, I mean, I'm surprised BoA has managed to break down the ramp at all, given the position. So, BoA really showcasing some top-tier control, but it's just not quite enough. GG is called. Wow. Big pickup there from kogeT to take game number 1. I think that, it's hard not to point your finger back to the proxy DT, right? Maybe not the call that BoA would have wished if he could, run the clock back or whatever. But either way, kogeT taking full advantage of it. I love that scout timing at the 3 o'clock position. That was very nice.
Great. I feel like kogeT lost to Sterling. He's like, I'm just done. No, we're not playing around anymore. I'm just gonna sweep through everybody. No SPX. Now he's like, gotta finish off BoA. He's getting out of the group.
Yeah, he's on a tear for sure. I mean, he's not playing like he was at the start of the day. He's clearly warmed up. And I mean, anytime you're taking a win off of a big name like BoA, you got to be feeling good. That being said, though, that it's now BoA's map choice. We know he tends to like the quicker maps, the 3-player maps, the 2-player maps, especially for this matchup. So, given that it's not going to be Vermeer anymore, likely BoA will at least be able to put this next game onto more his terms. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be what? Sorry. Pantheon? Okay. Yeah, Pantheon gonna end up being the map. Very solid map. It's, another big 4-player map, so I did not make the right call there. It seems like he just wants to get into a more, another long macro game. Pantheon, a map where I was talking about the mineral only definitely comes more into play. It's kind of nice for Protoss 2 to even have that mineral only as an option outside the main. But yeah, both our players are ready to go, folks. So let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 here of our losers finals. Alrighty, and spawning top left as the red Terran, currently up 1-0 in the series. It is kogeT.
And over in the top right corner, we have our blue Protoss, BoA, here on Pantheon. Last time we saw Pantheon, kogeT went for a 2-fact cross-spawn position, then pulled it out. I'm going to assume that kogeT's not going to pick a 2-fact here in this game, and he'll pick something a little bit more modern.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Despite it working, that was not the right call. Now that he's close position, right, I would be less offended with it. I think it would still be fine. But yeah, I mean, he obviously doesn't have like a crystal ball next to him. He's like asking, where he's spawning, close or not. So, but yeah, if you do have a crystal ball and you're playing StarCraft, just give me one. I could use one.
It's actually just a black sheep wall, right? We don't do crystal balls in StarCraft.
Oh, true. Yeah. Black sheep wall. Man, I definitely used to play single player in like Operation Sea Wall and yeah, power overwhelming, beat 7 computers at once on an island map. It's great.
I was proud that I even remember Black Sheep. I was like, what are the other ones? I know there's some other good ones.
Yeah, I used to know all of them, and I can't remember many of them anymore, actually, I guess. Yeah, Power Overwhelming. Yes, Operation Squall. Yeah, Swallow. Oh, man. I can't remember the other ones, actually, off the top of my head right now.
Love cheat codes. Love cheat codes.
Yeah. It's going to be a very quick scout here from kogeT to kind of kick things off. So he'll know he's spawning close positions to BoA here. See how this kind of factors into his play. Meanwhile, core almost complete from BoA so far.
Yeah, pretty standard here so far. BoA has been kind of avoiding the Nexus first builds. He's been pretty comfortable kind of teching up into that Cybernetics core and building up from there. Yeah, I do love that early scout from kogeT. I'm a big believer in the early scout. I was very confused yesterday by the no scout builds that I was seeing a whole lot of. So this is a little bit more traditional, more my comfort level of where you need to know what's happening in order to respond.
We do see SCVs still on gas here for kogeT. You know what that means? It's gonna be another 2-fact. Man, I don't know. I am not a fan, but you know what? If it works, it works, I guess. Bunker going
He's even
down
putting
here.
up a bunker to make sure there's no scout. That's great. He's really selling it.
Man, that's a... it's so tough when you lose the resources for the bunker and you're going 2-fact as well. Because this bunker is not going to do anything for kogeT now. This is 100% like an all-in sell. SCV even looking to block the Dragoon. I know the Dragoon's got to be thinking, hey, like, is this a fake? Like, this is really... It's really weird to have a bunker that quick, I feel like.
Right,
So I think-
that's far enough out that BoA's got to be wondering, right? That has to raise alarm bells.
It should. It definitely should. kogeT scouts the Nexus, so he knows exactly what he's up against here. BoA, no second gateway quite yet. I don't know. I mean, if... Oh, it's a... Yeah, it's a Robo. So, I want to say that 2-fact can do it here. These are kind of ideal situations for a 2-fact.
Yeah, especially if you see an observatory follow-up to that. Oh man, it's going to be so long before anything comes out. Just the one gateway. Still looking for that second gate. Finally. But kogeT probably licking his chops right now from what he sees.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty happy. He does have 2 more Dragoons knocking on his door, though. They're going to get a lot of damage done in repair, and just by doing that, he might be able to stifle the production of kogeT. But actually, no, he's going to back up.
Yeah, just wants to get back at home. How long does kogeT wait here? Does he wait to just 3 tanks and then just do the vulture follow-up, or wait for more?
I think that sounds right. I think it's normally 3 tanks, and then you're getting the vulture upgrade for mines, and you're just sending. So I'd like to see some SCVs with this. If you're gonna attack, you know, with this 2-fact timing, you're very committed. You might as well just commit.
Yeah,
But
go
nope.
for it.
Yeah. It's gonna just be one
SCVs
SCV.
are really strong, and even just building a random bunker or a random supply depot, anything to get in the way, just ends up making such a big deal. I'm a big fan of the SCV pulls.
Yeah, I am as well. Like, I mean, especially if you're just committed to such a big timing. But here we go. Vultures coming in from the south. Tanks and Marines coming in from the left side. Good mine placement. Marines doing a great job kind of buffering for these tanks. And suddenly, the tanks are in a very strong position outside this natural here.
That was so close. BoA almost wasn't able to get his Dragoons back behind that pylon wall. Oh, but Tank's actually going for siege mode, so he's going to shellac these Dragoons and trying to get some mine drag. All of the Dragoons go down to mines. Oh my god. BoA just... Jeez. Wow, those mines.
Oh my gosh, what did we just watch? That was crazy. Great, I mean, just great timing. Great timing.
I didn't realize
Close
he had
position.
siege mode already. I thought he was getting just the vulture upgrade. I didn't realize he had siege done that quickly.
And speed and mines, man. And the mines definitely played like a very impactful play at being able to kind of mop the rest of those Dragoons up that were trying to dive on the tanks. So, whoa, just like that, man. kogeT taking a very quick series versus BoA. 2-0, and he's going to end up moving on to the round of 16. Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, who had kogeT coming out as the number 2 seed and Sterling as the number 1 while BoA and SPX go home? I think that's going to be some busted Liquipedia bets.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some unhappy campers there. Because, I mean, I thought BoA for sure, top 2. But once again, man, it just goes to show the caliber of players you have here in BSL Pro League. Nothing is for sure. Even when you have a new, competitor in the BSL in Sterling. I mean, he played some incredible games today against veterans, like some of the best, man. So wow, hats off to both Sterling and kogeT. They're going to be our 2 winners in this Group E and moving on to the round of 16. So very well done by both of them. Yeah. Well, with that, folks, that's actually going to be it for Group E today. But before y'all take off, we definitely want to give some love to our Patreon supporters here. First off, gotta say it, big hats off to Nazgul and Liquid Steve for supporting this season of BSL. We literally would not be here without these two men, so thank you both very much. At our big BSL goal supporters, you see CRVT back with the big $2,000 donation, Ziri, Pancake Guys, LML, Spaceman, Oops Mind, Chaosu, Sunky. I mean, so many Dragon, so many players, assisting each and every single season of BSL. Thank you so much for your donations. At the Wolf of Wall Street level, $200 a month, we have Andrew. Thank you. At the Bombastic General level, $100 a month, we have My Fleeting Dream. At the Colonel level, $50 a month, we have Striker. At the Major Plus level, $30 a month, we have Tim and Tupacalypse. At the Major level, $20 a month, we have Yujang, Medino, Steven Robertson, KJ Streaming Channel, Daniel Lopez, LMO, Nicholas Schuler, and Scheming Gypsy, and so many other folks assisting, every single month. Thank you so much for your donations, big or small. It all goes to the BSL and making sure we are still here as we have been every season. So thank you so much, folks. And of course, thanks again to Zero for being the man behind the scenes, putting this all together, pressing the buttons, and keeping us all here with great Broodwar content. So yeah, that's it for today. As we said, folks, tomorrow I believe we're going to have Group F with Dragon Rasuri, your commentary partner from yesterday. I hope I'm not butchering that name, by the way. Tech and Izu, another two big favorites, been around for such a long time. So, and a little bit of a mix of everything. Two Protoss, a Terran, a Zerg. You love to see it. Yeah, man, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to this Group F. And just like today, I kind of think it could be anyone's game. Well,
yeah, thanks everyone. This was really fun to cast today. Definitely looking forward to tomorrow and some mixed groups. Yeah, thanks everyone. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks for commentating with me today, DejaVu. Nice job, man. Hope we get to do it again here soon. For those of you tuning in, I'm Machine. Thanks y'all for tuning in and watching and supporting the BSL. Week after week. Appreciate you. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Is the name of the dance we do down Johannesburg way. Hit it! Fight!